Grant, are you trolling me? Am I being trolled? Well, wait. What the fuck? Wait, hold on. I might be trolled. Hold on, give me some. Chat, am I being trolled right now? Feds Diddy. I think I'm being trolled. It says feds are raiding Diddy's mansion. I don't know who this is, but this looks like Justin Combs. And apparently they're saying this is Homely Hills, which Diddy has a house in. Homely Hills Diddy. P. Diddy bought a $40 million mansion. Hip hop mogul, $40 million mansion in Homely Hills. Get ready. 17,000 square footage. Everybody's tweet. Well, wait, no, this is cap. Raid linked to sex trafficking event. All right, this is cap. This is cap. Yo, trust me. All them bitches that Diddy done fucked, Diddy will never get caught. Hell no. Nigga, I will go upstairs and turn my fucking TV on, my nigga. Like, y'all niggas is playing with me. This is trolls. Y'all niggas is trying to troll me. This is like a troll. This is troll. Am I being trolled, chat? Am I being trolled? Y'all trolling me. Y'all are trolling me. Y'all are trolling me. Like, y'all are literally trolling me. Y'all are trolling me right now. I know y'all trolling me. I know y'all trolling me. Yeah, I can't find nothing on YouTube. Y'all are trolling me, bro. Y'all are trolling me. Check TMZ. There's nothing on TMZ. Wait, what the fuck? No way. No, this is a lie. Diddy, Los Angeles, and Miami. Yo, this is a lie. Hold on, I gotta go upstairs and go watch the real news. Hold on. Diddy's in the crosshair by law enforcement on both coasts of America. They raided both at the same time? Could somebody give me a live stream? How can I watch it? Diddy? How can I watch it? I need to watch it live. I got to watch this live. No way. You're lying to me.
Pool right there in the middle with the grass lawn. So clearly, this is going to take time, and that is why probably there are so many personnel on site to go through everything. And the search that they are conducting, we again don't know a lot of information in terms of what evidence they're trying to collect, who they're looking for, or why they made the raid to begin with. But again, this could possibly be involving the sex trafficking investigation. And again, when we get more details, of course, we'll bring it to
Homeland Security.
Going to be a while. You see the Department of Homeland Security officers right there in that Bearcat. You know, this could be phase 2 of what to do now, what they're searching for, and making sure they have all their information they need when they conduct a raid like this and go through the process of going through that property. It is a big mansion indeed, owned by Bad Boy Films and one of Sean Combs's children. So again, this happening just about 20 minutes ago at this point. We do have video from earlier, if we could show you that, and we have been showing that to you in a bigger box.
I didn't even wash my hands. Fuck that, no way.
The live pictures you're seeing right now, but
yo, chat, I swear, bro, Diddy's up like, Diddy's a billionaire. He done paid off every nigga he done fucked, every bitch he done having these 50-man orgies. I never thought this would ever happen. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it a being with you.
Little use of force. So clearly it is a process whenever you conduct a raid like this. So again, we do have Haley Winslow on the ground as well. She is pushed back to a certain perimeter though, so they're very differing vantage points that we can see. But if we do look at the ground shot there, you see law enforcement on the ground there as well. Haley, anything changing where you're at right now?
Just a lot more people showing up on scene. It's been pretty hectic out here. Yeah, this all unfolded about 25 minutes ago, and I apologize that you couldn't hear me clearly earlier. It's very loud, especially we've got, of course, Sky Fox showing you all of this from overhead. But basically, it all started about 25 minutes ago. 30 or so law enforcement vehicles that were from the Department of Homeland Security, LASD, of course, LAPD assisting in this as well. And they pulled up to this home that's registered to Bad Boy Films, part of Bad Boy Entertainment, one of P. Diddy's companies, and
DJ Akademiks, are you watching me? Yo, you're amazing.
Got out.
You're amazing.
I love your channel, man.
They went in. They were
I love you.
I love your channel. Somebody send me a screenshot.
I love you, no Diddy.
Akademiks, the OG.
P. Diddy may not even be
Look
here.
at that.
Of course, we haven't
I
seen
love
him.
that.
We understand he may
The
have
OG,
flown on a
man.
private jet to New York, which I'm sure kind of threw off their plan, although this was very strategically organized. So I would assume by now, whether he is in New York or not, that he
YouTube
is
OG, I love
likely
the
in
come up,
custody
man.
if he
Congrats
is
to you,
involved in this. But again, we are hearing that this is involving P. Diddy and sex trafficking charges. To what extent or with what details, we don't yet know. But of course, we will be on top of this.
Chat, we're going to stay on top of this, but here's the thing. When the police execute a search warrant, I'm speaking from experience because they've executed this shit in my house, is either two things. One, they feel like the evidence for them to charge you is in the place that they're executing a search warrant. It's the only way they get it. It's the only way they get it. I'm about to even hit my nigga Myron too. You know, he was a former Fed. Remember I told you about they executed a search warrant at my place because a woman said, oh, so-and-so happened, and I know it's on video because he got cameras everywhere. He won't give me the video. They came in, got the video, came in by force, got the video. The video actually showed that was a lie. You get what I'm saying? But they had to go get the video, and they did it via search warrant, so there's no charges. However, there's another way. We've seen this with Keefe D. You go in with the search warrant when there's imminent charges and you just need to ascertain some of these things, or you need to like get your hand on some of these things that are going to help build a case. And before the person could know there's a case, you need to get it before they destroy them. Okay? So it's either two things. And from the feds, the feds move way, way better than the state. If the feds are coming in, there's already charges. I would imagine. If you get what I'm saying?
But they will for some time, and any move seeing from Skyfox.
Cutting out.
Nope, just these the guys on the ground down there, the heavily armed officers that made their way inside. They actually are kind of just milling about or holding the perimeter, as it would be. The non-essential, you can see them making their way back over to these armored vehicles, probably doing a little debrief about what they saw. In any type of these situations, it really is, you've got these armored officers that go in first.
Shout out to my guy, no disrespect. We got the full link right here.
That investigation, and then other problems can ensue.
Oh my God,
so that's basically why we're seeing that large presence. They keep walking through there, and like you mentioned, this is an extremely large home, and probably with many rooms and little secret areas. So they want to make sure that everything is cleared before they allow those investigators in to start doing that investigation, whatever it is that they're looking for. But you can see a number of those officers making their way back into that major. This is the big main house, as it would be, making their way back inside, and I would venture to say that they're going to just go through every one of those rooms and make sure that there is nobody in there. I don't think they're those guys that we're seeing, guys and gals that we're seeing in those heavily armored gear and equipment. I don't think they're actually searching for any items that could connect whatever the investigation.
Okay, so I would believe that they're gonna secure the perimeter, first of all. Second of all, here's the thing. Let's speak a little bit on Diddy. And I'm sorry, we're kind of deviating from what we really started to talk about. And it was such a big topic with obviously the Drake and Kendrick and Future stuff. We'll get back to that. There's going to be a long stream today, chat, because we're about 3.5 hours in. Looks like we're going to probably be here all day. Check this out. I have to imagine, right, that if they're doing this particular search warrant, it has to be based off, so this is how a search warrant is gotten, right? It has to be based on probable cause that there is some evidence to support that a crime was committed in someone's personal property. You have a right to an expectation of privacy at your personal home, even in your vehicle to some extent. Vehicle much less, in your home absolutely. Your vehicle, they don't have to do a search warrant. They could actually have a dog sniff if they smell weed, or weed, if weed was illegal where you're from, they could search your car. But in your house, they can't just run up in your house. They have to get a warrant. So what usually has to happen is they have to have a judge, if it's local, some magistrate. This is feds. Look how, by the way, the way they're pulling up, and this is the thing too, the way you're seeing here is pulling up is because how big the property is, who it is, how much money he has. For example, I'm going to keep using myself as an example because this happened to me. I was very shocked. They pulled up to my shit with a SWAT team. And I was like, why? They said, well, when we ran your name, and I'm telling you, this is 100% fact. They said, we've issued you 50 guns. We know you have, they know every legal gun I have. We're not pulling up to your crib with 3 cops. Nigga, you have 50 guns. Imagine you're really doing something crazy. You're going to set up a perimeter and shoot it out with us. We're showing up with a SWAT team, my nigga, just because. So, because my lawyer even told him, why the fuck did you do all that to get into his house? They said, you have 50 guns in your house. We know. We signed off on all of them. You register with them with us. We're not pulling up to your house alone. Diddy, with all of his resources, they're pulling up like they're going, this is some big operation. Honestly, they're probably looking up paperwork. Here's the thing why I think probably helped propel this. They're in most of these civil suits, and I don't know if maybe the police the feds have probably interviewed some of these people, even Cassie. Hey, did Diddy ever record you guys doing this shit? They might be like, yeah, he got him on VHS tape. He got him hidden. So they might be in there looking for VHS tapes. The Lil Rod shit, even though I think that was all a lie, Lil Rod claimed that there was video. There was a tech guy that worked with Diddy that would be able to spy on certain shit or record certain shit, but hide certain shit. So they need to get up in there. They have to raid everything at the same time, grab everybody, get them out of there, get them in cuffs, and be like, now we have control of your system. So if you guys used to be deleting stuff, if you had a freak off like last week with Carisha getting, you know what I mean, a motherfucking, you know what I mean, baseball bat stuffed up her pussy, we're going to get the whole raw footage before y'all do anything with it. We're not going to give y'all the opportunity to hide it, move it around. So I think they're just taking control of the property, if you ask me. They got everybody in cuffs. Apparently Diddy flew out to somewhere. Everybody's going to be in cuffs. Then the forensic or IT forensic team is going to come in, comb through everything, and actually figure out if there's evidence of any foul play. Here's also the thing that's going to be very interesting, right? Imagine if, okay, they're investigating based on these allegations of previous times. It doesn't prevent them from using, say they got some video of a freak off that happened the other week, and then they go talk to those girls, and again, that wasn't a source of their investigation, but they could, right? Obviously, Diddy has high-powered lawyers. At that point, they would try to throw stuff out, be like, nah, y'all came in for that reason. Y'all can't find footage on other shit and try to charge. But they're coming in to get all footage, computers, cell phones. They're coming in for all type of electronic communication to make sure that they could preserve whatever evidence. And I have to believe, and this is just my personal opinion, I have to believe that this isn't the only thing they need to make their case. They either have cooperating witnesses, right? They have other things that could tie Diddy to some charges that you got to remember. This, they're probably spending $100,000 to do all this, right? They're not just doing this like, hopefully we find the video of you doing some weird shit. No, they're not doing that for that. They're doing this to say, if there's additional information, I would think, because it's the feds. The feds don't play around, okay? Let me unmute. I know you want to hear me. Let's hear this for now. I'm going to be here all day, people. God damn it, this shit broke while we on.
Get the all clear to allow them inside while these officers that we see.
Chat, when I say 100K, to mobilize this, look at this truck right here. Everybody, there's going to be 100 task force people involved in this. It's not only happening in this is the Miami home, but it's also happening in Homely Hills, which is in LA. They raided 2 houses same time, coordinated the feds. They're going to be taking control of the property for hours, maybe a day or two, searching it. It's that big. You're going to have people around the perimeter, people canvassing for shit. You're going to have detectives who are going to be fucking interviewing people. You're going to have so much stuff going on. This is the $100,000 operation. Come on, like, this is not a small thing, right? Again, I could imagine wherever Diddy was going on a plane, once he boarded that particular private jet, when that jet lands, remember, they're already at his house. They're going to greet him. So the feds are going to greet him there and probably detain him and let him know, hey, you're the subject. Hey, we served a search warrant at your houses. You're the subject of an investigation. We would like to speak to you, but you don't have to speak to us, which obviously Diddy wouldn't speak to them. Diddy would probably immediately get his lawyers to start engaging with the police officers. Now they're engaging with remember, this is the feds, the highest level. You're engaging with the feds not knowing if there's charges. You're engaging with the feds not knowing if already they have enough to charge you or what particular situation. Keep in mind, like, you know, unlike the Andrew Tate stuff, we don't even know what's going on with Andrew Tate. When it comes to, like, in America, they got to let you know what the fuck is going on. So, you know what I mean? It's not one of them hazy situations you don't know. So, again, I would imagine that the police have been working with people over time along the way, and this is some crazy shit. But anyway, let me keep going.
Go later on. And I don't believe the word arrested has been used out here as of yet, but again, still very active situation, and of course that is a huge house, and they've got a lot of rooms to clear before they allow those investigators in.
Yeah, we talk about the process of bringing this many law enforcement officials to the scene to have a raid like this and conduct a raid and make entry into a Holmby Hills mansion that's owned by a prominent celebrity and their business. So clearly, this is something that doesn't happen just overnight. Law enforcement officials do have to have their evidence ready. They have to make sure every T is crossed in order to make entry into a home like this for an investigation. So when we talk about and see these kinds of raids happen or having them be conducted, it kind of shows that they do have enough evidence that their investigation is to a certain point where they have made a search warrant and they've gotten all of the evidence they need to have a search warrant, that they have to establish that a crime was...
Yo, chat, no bullshit, and this is not a joking situation. This is as serious as it could get. I just want to ask y'all a legitimate question. I want everybody to type a response to this. What are y'all gonna, how are y'all gonna feel if the feds come out with 15 matching outfits for Diddy and Meek? What are y'all gonna feel? How would you feel when the feds come out with 15 matching outfits where they're twinning? Serious.
Time to make sure that they have enough evidence to be able to conduct a raid like this, especially with so many law enforcement agencies involved, investigators involved, and
this made me want to troll Meek even more. Now that I know the feds is over here running up in niggas' cribs,
people, this is going to be...
I want to beg Meek to come piss on my crib. Pause. No Diddy.
Again, we don't know what they're looking for. We don't know what the...
I could turn them on them. Turn the feds on him.
Assume that it is part of a sex trafficking investigation. Those are multiple lawsuits that Sean Combs have been facing this year alone. Allegations that he denies, but clearly this could be all part of the process here. But again, law enforcement does just not go in willy-nilly into a home and conduct a raid like this unless they get the necessary evidence they need to get that search warrant.
To put it in perspective, again, I'm using personal experience. Again, this is on a state level. When they served a search warrant at my house, it was actually because I sent a text. So the girl in question showed the police her phone, and she gives them her story. Basically, when they look at the text messages, the girl says, hey, I want to look at the videotape of what happened. And I said literally to her, man, I ain't finna keep watching this shit of you getting fucked by my niggas. You feel me? That was a defiant, I'm not going to give you evidence of what could have been a crime. Do you get what I'm saying? That allowed them to go to a judge saying, hey, listen, this person has clearly, they're admitting that they have the evidence. They're not going to turn it over. We don't want them to destroy it. Give us the fucking stamp to go get it through a search warrant. We're going to show up, go get that bitch, and figure it out. That's what they did. You get what I'm saying?
Still very active on scene, just more and more vehicles showing up. This is largely, most of the law enforcement officers here, Sandra, are, of course, the Department of Homeland Security, and then we also have LASD and LAPD here as well. So as soon as I can get anything official.
I'm trying to get Myron on the phone. I called him. I texted him. So DHS, which is Department of Homeland Security, Myron worked for. So the federal, the federal government is broken down into many different branches. You have the FBI, you have DEA, you have ATF, you have CIA, you have all these other places. But the Department of Homeland Security, which usually works in line with a bunch of other federal agencies, I'm wondering why would Homeland Security care about sex trafficking, especially if it's domestic? I would think Homeland Security would be concerned with things that could be quasi, beyond the domestic borders. Why would they care that Diddy's having freak-offs? You feel what I'm saying?
Night, this wasn't just an accusation and they came and knocked down the doors and started tearing up the house. This was something that's an ongoing investigation. Lawyers, attorneys, and district attorneys, they all have to sign off on this. They have to look this over. Judges have to make that decision as well, and nobody wants to be on the end of a wrongful seizure. So of course they needed to show evidence that there is a reason for this type of force and for these officers to make their way into this.
Chat, I'm gonna keep it a beam with you. This whole time I was hesitant in just saying what clearly was being obvious and being in front of us. Diddy's done. Diddy's a wrap. It's over. It's over. It's over. This whole time, because Diddy Illuminati. Diddy done did a lot. What y'all hearing niggas say now, I've heard 20 times worse. So I'm like, just a couple hoes that got fucked who get mad, he gonna pay some money out, he gonna be good. Hearing this, Diddy's done. I don't know who Diddy pissed off, but he's done. Over. The feds is on you, it's over. Over. Why? Just because I believe that he's been such a high target. They have been sitting there on him, and they have been trying to get evidence and working on this for a long time. And at this point where now it's public that the feds are involved, we're at the final stages. This is the last stand. Diddy knows what's going on. You got to remember, Diddy has tens of millions of dollars of lawyers on retainers. They're crushing everybody. It's over. I ain't gonna lie to you. And what I mean by it's over, I'm not saying he's going to jail. I'm saying it's over as in no one will ever look at Diddy the same again. Because the feds raiding you for human trafficking or sex trafficking, it will always be, there's no way to really prove your innocence after this. People will always have you now in the R. Kelly category. And once they have you there, it's not that, some people have certain accusations and, okay, that was a one-off. This is a serial type of thing. Now it's over.
Situation for Sean Combs. So at any rate, this is still very ongoing, very preliminary. But again, we do see a large force out there, which, like you're trying to say, or what I believe you did say, is that this is a warranted search. And of course, they are here and they are definitely looking for specific pieces of information. What they are, we don't know. We may never know. But right now, that search is definitely ongoing.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, we've covered so many of these different types of raids. Obviously, not always at a celebrity mansion like this in Holmby Hills, but clearly sometimes you see them having to forcefully enter a property and seize evidence, and it doesn't always go so smoothly. And it was, in fact, very smooth the way they gained entry into this property. And after they figured out that side entrance, they were able to make entry. But it's not like they show in the movies, as you mentioned, Stu, right? They weren't battering down doors and destroying property. This is very methodical, and in terms of many stories we've covered like this, it was a very easy entry, and they were able to access the property and get on site. So clearly, they're ready for anything. Whatever they're going to be met with, you don't know, and that is why they make sure that they are safe in numbers, that they're armored, and that is why you see such a big force out there, because you never know what kind of emotion you're going to be met with.
Definitely, and emotion is really what plays.
Now, I'm going to also put this into the air. I wish Mario would answer his phone, because I would love to get him on here while we're tuned into this. Here's the thing, bro, it's the feds. Let me recall a previous case that's having to do with the feds. So did you know that Taxstone situation? So the guy who gave Taxstone the gun for Irving Plaza, he was already under federal investigation for something else. So when the whole thing happened, they brought that investigation. They basically helped each other out, right? Be like, oh, I already was investigating this guy for this, and I found this information. Here's why I say this. So it's the feds, right? We all know the big situation that has happened, correct? Keefe D is already locked up for Tupac's murder. I know we all have been talking about it, but everybody says, oh, Diddy will never get caught, right? I'm not saying he was involved, and I'm not trying to make any assumptions. I think the feds are in there looking for every and anything. They've been looking to see if bitches been getting fucked on some sex trafficking shit, if Diddy has any type of ties to maybe other crimes that, has just gone unspoken about, or even that Pac situation. Oh shit, let's see if we can find a ledger with him giving money to maybe some Southside Crips who may have done the shit. This is going to be a thing. This is going to be a thing. And I'm going to tell you what I believe is going to happen going forward. We're going to get complete silence as Diddy's going to lock in with his lawyers. He's going to lock in with at least 50 lawyers right now. It's lawyer time. And we won't hear nothing for maybe a few months. Then we're going to hear indictments. Because what's going to happen is that usually this follows up with a grand jury. Okay, cool. We've gotten all the evidence, including the ultimate, raiding his house physically and grabbing shit or taking stuff and analyzing whatever. Could we get an indictment on this person? And I think that's the moment we're going to hear everything. happen. So don't think we're gonna hear like, oh, Diddy's charged by tomorrow. No, you're gonna hear a period of silence. Diddy's gonna lock in with his lawyers. Everybody around him has got to go. No more promotional items. No more pictures with the fam. It's bunker downtown time. Let's try to figure out what this is. And they're going to try to grand jury whatever this is and try to charge him. 100%. Watch.
For him, he may be in New York, as Haley was mentioning on the ground there. But clearly, this was, in all, a very peaceful raid as they made entry. And right now, as they are making their way in and out of the property as they conduct their search. But a search that is just beginning, as you see those suits, the investigators taking their time, making sure everything is done properly and methodically in terms of what they're looking for at this point. Again, we have a lot of questions that we just don't know the answers to at this point. We do have someone on the line right now, Hal Kemper. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you can make light of what we're looking at in terms of Homeland Security making entry into the Holmby Hills mansion of Sean Combs.
Sandra, this is a Homeland Security investigations that appears to be on site. What they're probably looking for is, well, I should say in general, they look at human trafficking and sex trafficking being a component of that. And of course, there's been some rather big civil suit stuff that's taken place, but also the New York case where the statute of limitations basically had been rescinded, allowing them to look back many years in this case. Part of it was there have been allegations that he was drugging young women, so that there was which certainly implies that it was rape that had taken place at some point. But I think what HSI is probably looking at is the interstate aspects of it, if there was any online activity that could have taken place. And that's usually where HSI...
Clearly interstate activity. Diddy has multiple houses. He flew people along the way. Remember that girl that claimed she was 17 or 18? Keep in mind, there's no statute of limitations on sexual assault, right? So if you did it and evidence comes up 29 years later, they will charge you, okay? And especially if you're someone who's an attractive person to get in terms of your P. Diddy. They want to parade you around like how they did motherfucking R. Kelly. They're going to do it. Here's the thing. Remember what that girl said? We're going to just Google it real quick. 17-year-old Diddy said that Diddy allegedly Harv had her, showed Diddy a picture of her. Diddy said, put her on a private jet, fly her to me, brought her to the studio, allegedly sexually assaulted her in the studio. That instantly says interstate. You brought one woman from one state to another and allegedly assaulted her. Now, we don't know if this is true. I want to be very fair to Diddy because I know he's going through a lot, and I do not want to pile on, especially when I'm not investigating this shit. If that's what it is, the feds are within their right to investigate this and charges as they would see fit, because that fits a federal statute. You have taken one person from one state, brought them to another state, and you have done, and you did that with the pretense of doing an illegal activity, especially sexual, and I don't know if they'll get into underage stuff. Again, what's also going to be big here is that what we saw, for example, the Little Rod lawsuit, which I have read through and through, is complete bullshit. It's complete bullshit. Maybe there's some half truths in it, but the majority of it is something that you could tell is a disgruntled producer trying to get some bread from Diddy. What we're going to see, what's going to happen with the feds involved, there can't be no... You remember Lil Rod said there was underage woman at a party, and then the woman came out like, no, we're overage. What the fuck are you talking about? We're old as hell. That can't happen with the feds. The feds got to come with the shit. So whatever we're going to see with the feds, they have to have proof that they believe is beyond a reasonable doubt that could be proved in court with 12 jurors, a jury of Sean Combs' peers or Diddy or Brother Love, whatever you want to call him, they would probably agree. Otherwise, and if they can't find that probable cause, I forgot what the distinction that the grand jury, because this got to be grand jury no matter what. So grand jury has to, look at this and they got to make a ruling, right? So they're going to look at the evidence and they're going to be like, oh, this is evidence, blah, blah. By the way, keep in mind, a grand jury, just to kind of, for people who might not know, a grand jury in usually most states, but specifically for some charges, have to be the ones, right? There's two ways to do it. You could, what's the other way to get an indictment, especially a felony indictment? If it's not grand jury, it's I think the judge, like a judge would just make the determination, but you have to submit it to a judge. The most popular one is a grand jury. It's usually more than 12 people. It's about like 24 people. They all look at it. They look at multiple cases per day. They usually convene for like 2 to 3 months, and they vote quickly. Like they might see usually the defendant is not there because it's a secret proceeding. So, for example, and I'll be very honest. I'm kind of always honest about like what I got. Remember, someone with Shorty, that shit got grand juried. Like I wasn't there and never knew it happened. People voted because they seen the evidence. The evidence was a motherfucking surveillance tape. There's nothing there. What I got was called a no bill, which means there is no evidence to charge him with. We can't charge him. You get what I'm saying? They're going to go to a grand jury with all this evidence, and then they're going to try to, okay, is there evidence to charge this motherfucker? You get what I mean? It's usually 24 people. Most likely the defendant or the possible defendant isn't there. It's up to, they usually say you could grand jury or you could almost charge, they say you could charge a chicken sandwich. This is like a saying that prosecutors have, basically saying if the person isn't there to defend themselves, bro, you could make this look any type of way just to get charges. You get what I'm saying? So they're going to do that with all this evidence, and then we'll see. They did it with Trump. By the way, this is just how the law works. The reason why Trump got indicted, there was a grand jury. Now, hey, they're going to probably do that for Diddy, and we will see. If he doesn't get charged, he's good. You know what I mean? The civil shit will always sit there, but whether you did anything or not, civil shit will always come about. You know what I mean? If somebody trips and hits their toe at Diddy's crib, they're going to sue him. Doesn't mean they could actually put him in jail, but they could sue him. So that's probably going to be what's left of the outcome. But I do, when we think about like federal shit, this case comes up in mind because if I remember the details, he tells his guy, put her on a private jet and fly her to me. I think she was in Chicago and she flew to New York. Chicago is in Illinois. New York is New York. 2 different states. That's what make the feds do their thing, right?
Very, very. A lot of the individuals, a lot of the people who work there, to include here in Los Angeles, especially. What they're probably looking at are the 2 residences, one in New York, one in Los Angeles. And I haven't seen the documentation, but if it doesn't name Sean Combs by name, it's probably because there's been allegations that criminal activity had taken place tied to sex trafficking at these locations. So what they're doing is they're looking at the locations themselves and investigating them as potential crime scenes. And of course, with that, I'm sure the scope is such that they can look just about anywhere, gather up any materials. They're probably gathering up any electronic materials. They're probably doing things like imaging the place, taking a lot of pictures and stuff that may be used later. Could be in reference to what witnesses say on the stand, that they may look at various pictures of the locations themselves to help refresh their memory while they're talking about various activities that may have taken place or alleged to have taken place. So there's a lot of reasons why they might not focus on him per se. Also, there's another thing too, is he runs a fairly large organization. The fact that they don't name him might mean that they're looking at other activities that could have taken place within his immediate, entourage or his organization that involve these properties. So one can't rule out anything at this point because we don't know a lot.
Sure, and obviously this is just their statement to the press at this point. So what the actual legal documents say and what the statement they gave us is very, very different, let's be clear. So we're sometimes, not privy to all of those details and information until it becomes available at a later date. But you were mentioning the whole search process. We are seeing so many law enforcement officials, investigators, and this is basically 3 properties on this entire, or 3 homes, I should say, buildings on this entire property in Holmby Hills we're talking about. How long is it going to take for them to go through it? Do they have a time limit? I mean, essentially, some people are going to come back into the home, right, at some point. So how does that all play out?
I'm sure if you were to ask them, they'd say it's going to take as long as it takes. These are huge properties. You can imagine looking through one home takes a lot of time, but when you have 3 very large buildings with a lot of different rooms, various different levels on those homes. Also, they're going to be looking at every nook and cranny. They'll be looking anything that's subsurface in the home. They'll be looking in basically everywhere they can. They could be using a variety of sensor systems to find out if there's any hidden compartments, safes, things like that, and walls that aren't readily apparent. There could be a lot of different things they're looking for, and they may have dogs there too, looking for various different things as well. But they're probably looking for more where stuff may be held. I would imagine with that, and of course anything tied to any of the allegations. We don't know. But certainly the fact that they're there indicates that they probably had,
Now, let me just say this. And by the way, again, I'm not an expert, but, I try to do my best. I will say, based on how much I've heard how meticulous the feds moves, it's probably even likely that this search warrant was not only based on information that they might find something, they might have even had a tip be like, yo, there's this secret place where they keep all the tape recordings of all the years of blah, blah, blah. You never know. Keep in mind, when it came to Trump, there was a tip given to, and no Diddy on the tip, but there was a tip given to the feds that said, hey, Trump kept documents at a certain, so people told them what they were going to find. So they're not in there like, hey, what are we looking for? Hey, what's what? They're going in there with we know what we're going to find. We just need to go get it. So that might be the situation as well with this. We don't know yet. Again, we're just kind of speculating at this point.
But we know there's a lot of interest in this story. Yet again, we have been on this now for about 45 minutes. We want to put the pictures up so you can see what is going on there overhead in the Holmby Hills section of Los Angeles. And this, from what we understand, is a multi-million-dollar mansion connected to Diddy, the music mogul, the famous rapper. And so it's not only there in Los Angeles that one of his homes that he is connected to is being raided by law enforcement, by Homeland Security investigators there, but also his home in Miami, a home that is affiliated with him as well. So if you're just joining us here, this is the top of a new hour. It's 2 o'clock here on the...
By the way, speaking of which, this is one of the reasons people speculate. This is why Russell Simmons been in Bali. This is why he been doing he been doing yoga in the sauna with Usher. He don't want to come back to the United States. Russell Simmons, you know what? Everybody be like, why he in Bali? You know why he in Bali? Because he ain't want this. You feel me? This nigga over here doing hot yoga, doing all this shit. You know what? Look at this nigga. Last thing he worried about is the feds surrounding this bitch. This nigga is in Bali. Peace out, America. I'm over here. This nigga look like the worm from motherfucking Men in Black. What the fuck? I'm telling you, Diddy was just thinking that he was just gonna take that. Hell nah, nigga. Hell nah, nigga. Yo, Diddy should have realized. Cassie devious. Cassie took the bread. Who want to bet Cassie is one of the main witnesses? Who want to bet? Also, who want to bet Cassie done help the goddamn feds link up with all the 50 male escorts who used to come through and pipe her out and shit like that? They got everybody. Y'all notice who never said nothing? All these escorts never said nothing. I guarantee the police don't find them. Look at this nigga right here. He's like, man, this yoga shit is way better than jail. I ain't gonna lie to you. R. Kelly singing for Honey Buns. I'm over here just stretching. Oh my God. Oh my sweet Jesus. R. Kelly, where the hell you at, nigga? Yeah, step in the name of what? Yeah, step in the name of commissary, nigga. I'm over here like stressed. I'm over here just like burning sweat with a bunch of niggas. Holy. Back to the shit.
In addition to so many of these law enforcement officials, of these law enforcement investigators as well. So I'm Andrew Kraft. Thanks so much for being here with us as we continue to cover this story here. In the meantime, we just got a new live picture up overhead in Miami, Florida, of one of these residents that is connected to Diddy as well. We're going to put both of these shots on the screen.
Yo, by the way, this is why I say Diddy's done.
Let's put this up here. So this is what you can see.
Diddy has multiple. Oh,
kind of bring us back.
Is that Star Island?
Acquainted with this story, the Los Angeles home there of Diddy.
Is this Star Island?
Homeland Security today in connection with the federal sex trafficking.
Oh my God, let me see.
Now, kudos to Fox
Yup,
11.
it's Star Island. That's that Miami property, Star Island right here. Oh my God, that's the shit that's worth like 40 or $50 million.
The coast.
Very like super secluded, super exclusive. That's where Carisha used to be at.
A live picture right now of
my God,
his home in Los Angeles and his home in Miami, Florida, as we speak, live, raw, and unfiltered.
From what I know, he owns like high-rise condos in New York, so no houses like this.
In Los Angeles, was registered to Bad Boys Films. It's a division of Bad Boy Entertainment, along with one of Combs's daughters. So, remember, we weren't exactly sure who was in the home at the time, either in Los Angeles or Miami. Of course, these are mansions, thousands of square feet, many acred properties. So you would imagine, and you're seeing kind of how the other half lives here, that, you know, staffers at the home, possibly family, friends, assistants, what have you. We just don't know who was in the home at the time. Now, they had to make sure these homes were vacated before they can conduct kind of the peculiarities and the particularities of their investigation, kind of combing through. And you heard there from our friend Hal Kempfer on Fox 11 say that they would be taking a lot of photos, that they would probably be taking a lot of electronics like computer hard drives.
If we see a Diddy butt plug, no Diddy, on the goddamn Discovery, I'm done. Carisha, by the way, Carisha, I heard you one of the no bullshit. I heard Carisha's one of the informants.
Diddy sure begged the question of whether there's a criminal investigation, but the hugest red flag was back after the Cassie lawsuit was filed and there was an NYPD leak about a criminal probe. Now, you'll remember that lawsuit filed by a former girlfriend of Diddy's, the prominent R&B star Cassie, and there was some very, very damaging and disturbing claims made by Cassie against Diddy to the tune of sexual assault, degradation, and the like. And then she retracted that lawsuit after an undisclosed amount was settled on. Remember, she was asking, I believe, somewhere in the $30 million range of damages, but not more than a week after that lawsuit was filed, it was dropped over an undisclosed settlement.
48 hours, gang.
This is in any way connected to this. I am just bringing in context to describe what has been going on with Diddy recently. Numerous lawsuits filed against him, many of women who have been accusing him of various degrees of sexual assault and sexual misconduct and for his behavior. So if you are just joining us right now, I'm Andrew Kraft. We are over these scenes both in Los Angeles and in Miami. We don't have any confirmation of who was at the homes at the times of these raids, whether Diddy was in the vicinity, whether any of his family members or children or assistants or staffers were at the homes in question when the raids took place.
Chat, this is crazy. So chat, you got to think about. Remember, I said 100,000. I think I'm lowballing it. Like no Diddy. Like we have to really think about what this is. This is a coordinated effort. It's not going to only take state officials, whether in Florida, New York, or California. It's going to take government official HSI. I'm pretty sure.
All right. So, like I said,
I'm pretty sure there's other like government officials involved. They got to hit all three spots at the same time. These are places. Do you know what 17,000 square footage is? And you got to imagine whether it's a phone, whether it's like, secret closets, whether it's anything. Who cares? They have to comb through all of these things and the belongings of these things. Also, who knows if the warrant as only says you have physical search rights to look at the property. Maybe they have other rights to look at other things. By the way, again, this is the property over on the right here, which is Star Island. So essentially, I could show you how that looks. Star Island, Miami. Essentially, it looks like this. It's a man-made property or man-made island, so to speak, that was made by the U.S. military years ago. And it's sectioned off really nicely that everybody has these houses that cost $40 million or some crazy amount. Diddy's lived there for a while. I think recently, I think Ross bought a property over here. I believe, I can't remember how many, but I think it's about like 40 something properties that's on this island, period. Super exclusive. You can't get over there if you don't live there without some proper whatever. It's like almost like a gated island, if you want to say. So they had to hit, because if you hit Los Angeles first, maybe the real shit was in another property. They got to call over there. Keep in mind, this is very different than even what they did for Trump, right? So when they ran into Trump's Mar-a-Lago property, if you don't know, that's his property in Florida, they didn't, and someone could correct me if I'm wrong, they didn't also run into his properties in other states. He has a property in Bedminster, New Jersey. He has multiple properties in New York. They only serve that search warrant for one particular place. It appears that with the Diddy, they're serving a search warrant for pretty much everywhere that may have been mentioned, either in maybe some of these civil suits or where some allegations of stuff is going down. The mere fact that they're searching this new property in Miami, I think he moved there. I can't remember what year, so let's look at the year. Diddy buys Star Island property. Again, what year was this? Here we go. We need a date on this. Can we find a date? We can't find a date. Let's find a date. We just want to know when he moved into this. Okay, so actually, never mind. So, okay, so he's been here for since 2011, so never mind. He's always been there, so I apologize for that. But I know the Homely Hills one, he hasn't been there forever. Homely Hills purchase. Let's see. So this was 2014. So this is a reasonable assumption. We don't know. Again, I'm speculating. We're just kind of giving, some conversation pieces while all this shit is happening. It's a police raid. It's a search warrant. It's going to be slow. They're going to have people stand there all day, all the way till night. They're going to detain all these guys and probably try to either question them or they're going to release them and tell them they can't go back to the house because they're going to be searching everything. So this was $40 million, and it looks like this was bought maybe in 2014. Now, again, if we're going back to when that 17-year-old was, that's in the 90s. If we're going back to when Cassie was, that's in the early 2000s. And by the way, Cassie did say it went on to 2017. So who knows? Maybe Cassie gave some information or has been to this property. Who knows, right? Cassie could have been to this property and could have been to Star Island. Also, the reason why I'm looking up dates is because if it's showcasing a new place that he's bought within the last couple of years, it would probably lead me to believe that the police are in talks or have interviewed someone that has been to a newer property that is probably really recent in his life, but all these properties look like he's owned at least for 10 years or so. This is 10 years, and the other one's 10 years. And his New York properties, I think he's owned for like a really long while. Yeah, it's near the Playboy Mansion, 17,000 square foot. Yeah, it's a lot. Again, just to let you know why I looked up the dates is because say he bought a house last year. If they're searching that house, either they thought he brought something to the house that has evidence, Or maybe he did something at the house, which means it would be a new girl or a girl that's current. Let's go back to it.
On the eve of the expiration of the Adult Survivors Act, it's a New York law allowing victims of sexual abuse a 1-year window to file civil action regardless of the statute of limitations. That was somewhat of a groundbreaking law in New York, passed to allow those victims of sexual abuse.
JRP, I see you on Rumble. I wouldn't say necessarily that. Just if a judge signed off on your crib. Remember, a search warrant, you just need probable cause that there is evidence that supports the doing of a crime. I told y'all there was a search warrant ran to my house. There was 0 charges brought. Actually, everything went to grand jury, got no bill. That's a fact. You know what I mean? So it doesn't mean charges are going to get brought. It does mean that they intend to bring charges or they think they could bring charges. And like, for example, in my situation, based on the text message and what they heard from the person, they believe that on video they were going to see they were going to see this going on. And the reason why in text I wasn't willing to give the person the video is because the video detailed a crime. Once they got the video, it didn't support that. So, of course, they still grand juried it because they don't want to be blamed because, you know, people be like, oh, you're giving them preference. So people had to vote on it. And it still wasn't enough. So it doesn't mean that he's getting charges. We don't know until the grand jury convenes.
About these investigations and how these raids are carried out. We're going to keep the live pictures up. We're going to hear some of these voices, though, right now, including our friend, attorney and expert, Nicole DeBoard, who has been following this as well. She joins me. Nicole, happy Monday. Good.
Now, I'm sorry I keep pausing it. Keep in mind, it's a very huge distinction between, I'm using some personal experience here to try to give and contextualize that you guys can understand a little bit. Wait, did they block? Wait, what is this? So this is the only road that connects. This is the only road that connects, like, Miami, Maine to Star Island. I'm wondering if they blocked it. It looked like they didn't. Okay. I seen them zooming in. This is the island. Anyway, here's what I was saying. The difference between, I'm using some personal experience because I'm telling you that I've had a search warrant ran on my home before. The difference is with this particular situation, though, is because this is the feds, right? And the feds don't investigate local crime, right? So, for example, if something happened just in Miami and at his Miami property, they wouldn't investigate. The feds come in when there's a bunch of criteria met, which means there is some interstate, you're doing a crime that affects interstate commerce, which this is the reason why it's multiple cribs in multiple states. And they're coming in with not only kind of a higher burden of proof, but they're going to only come in once they have crossed their T's and dot their I's, right? So I would think that this isn't a fishing measure, which a fishing measure would be we need to go get the evidence. This would be more of a, hey, we already got a bunch of evidence. We're going in to go get maybe some additional shit or some shit that, like, the smoking gun, if so to speak, right? So again, that's the difference between, I think, a normal state. And again, I'm not a lawyer. You guys just take my, I try to use some personal experience and also, like, I'm always in tune with this. Let's see what's going on here. Damn, they're walking around with guns out. Shit, hold on, my bad.
Some activity that crossed state lines, for example.
By the way, I hate to pause this, but it also looks like, here's one thing that we haven't realized or kind of like checked out about this whole process. That, I'm going to read the full details of it, but it appears, and by the way, look at this police truck right here. Like, this is almost like they've set up a headquarters center right there. Like, it's like a home base. Like, this is in Miami. But here's the thing in Los Angeles, right? It appears that with them, right? It appears with them, they knew the blueprint of the house. So you could know the feds, they move so well. They're so prepared. They knew, like, for example, look, let me pause right here. This is the front door. They ain't kicked that door down. in most cases, when if it's drugs or whatever the case is, you got to go in quick, blah, blah. They're going to kick that front door down. They went into Diddy's property, and it's not that they want to give him no respect, but they probably had the layout of the house. They probably knew inside the house. They probably knew a lot about the house. You heard what the person said before. They got into the house via a side entrance, which was probably not that invasive. Maybe there was like a glass door. They just broke the door or broke the glass and just got in that way, right? Remember, they're not going to be like knocking like, hey, we're here. We want to come look at some stuff. And you're like, oh, hold on. Let me go delete it real quick. They got to go in immediately. So they didn't go in front door, which a lot of times, if you watch the movies, they're going through the front door. They're kicking the door down. They go in discreetly, and apparently they said they had no problem. That's another thing you should know. They had no problem, which means they got in quickly because they either knew, okay, this is the glass door. We could just hit it real quick, get in. But they weren't lollygagging out there like taking the time to get in, which means they knew the layout of the house. This is 17,000 square footage. They have the full layout of this house, the blueprint, and much more to make sure they're going to execute not only this plan according to how they want to do it, but, the most efficiently. Anyway, let's go.
Every room, you have to sweep the grounds, and you have to make sure no one is a threat when you make a raid like this. But should we look into something like that?
Law enforcement, as a general rule, wants to make sure that they're completely prepared for what they're about to encounter, and that usually involves and does involve a great.
Nikki Yardy, man, I'm gonna do this one just for you, man. Thank you for the donation, man. Listen, man, I gotta do it, Chad. I gotta do it. Oh man.
Man, I fell down to my knees when the law came. Man, I fell down to my knees when the law came. Man, I fell down to my knees when the law came.
Oh, man. All right, let's get back to it.
Early, these very large businesses.
Hey, chat, I know some of y'all say next topic. No, this is breaking, trending. We're live. This is one of the reasons why we live stream. You can't get this moment anytime else. We're going to be rocking with this moment for the next, 2-3 hours, okay? I'll still give y'all your regular topics and also get back to, the Drake shit. But, shit, remember I told you we're going to be on for 7? We might be on for 10.
As you're setting out on your investigation, you want to make sure all these witnesses are separated so that you can start interviewing them and get their point of view uniquely.
Nicole, we also saw on the video here that law enforcement in Los Angeles, in the Holmby Hills home, they detained people around the house or in the house. Now, they're not necessarily, and correct me if I'm wrong, they wouldn't be considered suspects. Is that normally how law enforcement would do this? They would detain people on the scene just for questioning and then maybe release them later? Or do they know who they're looking for? Are they going to these raids to arrest people is what I'm asking.
Sometimes the answer is both. And sometimes the warrant actually says it's a search and arrest warrant. So they're there to actually arrest certain individuals who they do believe are suspects. And sometimes they're just search warrants, which means they're there to gather information. They have some very particular information they have to give a judge in order to get a judge to sign off on a warrant, because you can see there by looking at the screen yourself. I mean, this is a very invasive process. They're going into the home of an individual, and there has to be reason enough to believe that what they're looking for is going to be in that home. And they have to secure all of the individuals walking around in that home or detain them to make sure that they don't dispose of evidence or move evidence or do something to potentially damage the investigation. So it may not be that everyone in.
Hey, I seen Akram on YouTube say, yo, a raid don't mean shit, neither allegations need proof. Here's the thing, though. The way Diddy gets money at this point is not through music, it's through these companies that he was always the face of. This is the problem with Diddy, and I don't know if he'll ever get into a financial situation because he's really up. But when you're the face of these companies and you no longer, this, you have to realize there's no company that could either on a board or whether it's an ambassador or someone's an endorser, you cannot have Sean Combs as an ambassador of your company right now. And that's how he made a lot of his money, by being the ultimate promoter. Wow, you think he got with Ciroc? He was the ultimate promoter to the point they gave him points on flavored Ciroc. Y'all didn't know that? He was getting paid for just promoting Ciroc, right? Then, because he did such a great job, they then said to him, hey, we will give you more money, or we'll give you a percentage, but you have to launch like a different like flavor, coconut. This is the Coco Loso Ciroc. You'll get points on that. He's the ultimate promoter. Now, here's the problem. Who's going to promote with these things leading as the headline? Hey, this guy his home is being raided for sex trafficking. He's in this probe. He's sued for this. This is really the thing that's going to get him. And by the way, here's the thing. And this is no hater shit, but I'm going to just speak what I know about the industry. For what I've heard, that Revolt has never been that profitable. I heard Diddy's always made it happen. And to be honest, I've always rooted for Revolt because that's a black man trying to make a TV station happen when we don't see these happen all the time. What's happening now is going to start crippling Diddy's finances. It's going to start crippling his profits. And he's going to, at a certain point, going to have to let go of certain of these things. Hey, we're not doing new shows on Revolt right now. Hey, listen, we're looking for a buyer. Hey, this and third. These things are going to happen. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that is going to be probably part of the Fed's strategy in trying to convict him. Because someone with the money, the means, and the resources like Diddy, and especially how he's been able to operate with impunity, if he has all this resources, it's going to be hard. But if you now get him, he's radioactive, he can't really get money on the regular market like he used to. Of course, he's always going to get him. Like, he has a bunch of money. He's like, Diddy probably gets about $40 million, or I'd say $30 million every year, but it's through music, not new music. He owns people's masters. So, like, when you listen to Biggie, Diddy's getting paid forever and always, right? He owns masters of people, so he's always going to get a certain amount. But you got to realize the lifestyle Diddy lives. I was telling people about, like, what you spend versus what you make. It always changes, right? Because y'all might be like, damn, if I get $100,000, if I could make $100,000 a year, nigga, I only spend like $30,000 a year. I'm good. Look at these houses. What do you think he's spending a year? Diddy has full-on teams. He has a company of people. He pays a CFO. Diddy is expending at least 8 figures to maintain that company and maintain his lifestyle. I would think tens of millions per year. It's all good as long as you're still making and profiting tens of millions per year. What this is going to do is it's going to shrink it. It's going to shorten it down. And when the feds come in, they're playing the long game with you. Look what they did to Irv Gotti. They're playing the long game with you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Investigation. How hard is it, Nicole, to get everyone on the same page, to get everyone on board with this is what we're looking for, this, maybe who we need to question, who we need to detain? Is that a very heavy lift, so to speak?
It is a heavy lift, and you can imagine that there were hours and hours of planning that went into the execution, right down to who would be involved on each team, because it has to be something that is not leaked. It is coordinated as to timing, and you have 2 completely different time zones. And so you want to make sure that every person on each of those teams is going in at the same time, because you don't want whoever you're trying to investigate to learn that you're looking for documents in one location, because they could quickly secrete them or hide them, destroy them in the secondary location. So this has to happen at the same time. It also is best if it happens at the same time, because you don't want witnesses talking to each other about what the other one said before law enforcement has an opportunity to talk to these folks. So it is a very heavy lift. It takes a lot of coordinating, and you want to make sure that everyone on the team knows what their role is and what they're supposed to be doing and not supposed to be doing.
Okay, so we're taking a live picture right now, Nicole, there in Miami at the residence, one of the residences of Diddy there. I want to show for the viewers that we're going to bring you on camera here, Nicole. We want to thank you for being with us. We're going to keep you around for just a little bit longer because...
By the way, this is so embarrassing, at least for Diddy. You're in the neighborhood, like your neighbor is the guy who owns this company, like this. You're with all the rich people, and there's helicopters hovering above the sky, 50 cop cars, 200 actual officers in your house. They're surrounding the neighborhood, checkpoints. Look, fucking embarrassing. What's this?
So many of these agents, they're trying to break down one of these front doors or at least gain access to it. And so presumably, this is what they train for. This is how they go about this.
Oh, shit. This is I think this is in Miami. They broke it down then.
If you're not
shit,
pushback or opposition, or there's no danger.
Wow, they did break down one of his doors.
The individuals in the house, why do they have to have such manpower like this?
Well, it does not mean that they believe that there's danger involved, but you can see that these officers are not taking anything for granted. They're there in uniform. They're clearly identifiable as law enforcement. They have what appears to be bulletproof vests on just in case something goes wrong.
Never mind. I think this is Homely Hills. This is in L.A.
Stack, if you will.
You remember when they ran up in Polo G's house? They kind of looked like this too.
The person who is,
but they were arresting him and his brother, and then later his brother got charged for murder.
And it's not the kind of thing you can see. There's such a difference all the way from where the gate to that property that we're looking at now is all the way to the front door of the actual residence. There's some time. So what law enforcement does not typically want to do is ring the doorbell and have a little chat with whoever's on the inside of the house, so that if somebody has a flash drive or something that they might want to flush down the toilet or otherwise remove from the residence or somehow hide, they have time to deal with it. These law enforcement officers have a plan, and they're executing a plan where they also want the element of surprise to be on their side.
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense. Being in the news, I think the last kind of federal raid in the public consciousness was the raid at Mar-a-Lago in South Florida back in August of 2022. Wow. And we saw that kind of all unfold as well. Of course, I'm not comparing these two situations or scenes by any means, but these were essentially, Nicole, raids that we all watched in real time. And so I think a lot of the American people and viewers became pretty well acquainted with how law enforcement does this. Now, let's talk about the probe itself. We're getting that from our sources at Fox 11, that this is an investigation regarding allegations of sex trafficking federally. Now, is that federal aspect important to this? Obviously, states have their own laws on the books when it comes to sex trafficking. But if the feds are looking into this, into homes associated with such a high-profile person, you just have to kind of make the leap that this is going to be a story for a very long time. What is so particular about the federal aspect of this?
Again, it's very likely that it is federal because they believe there was some element of crossing state lines with some of the conduct. And again, without seeing the warrant, if we don't see the warrant, we can't see the affidavit. We don't know exactly what the government is alleging occurred here. We're taking a guess based on some civil lawsuit information that this is probably what this is about. It's clearly a criminal investigation at this point because you see this law enforcement individuals making entry. And
hey, Chad, yo, could y'all start a poll on all our respectful platforms? And by the way, salute to all y'all. I don't know if y'all chat niggas or not. We have about 40,000 people watching us across all platforms. We have about 8,000 on Rumble. We have 6,000 on the Academy page. We have 27,000 people on the King Akademiks page. We have about 500 people on Facebook, and then we have about 3,500 on Twitch. So thank all you guys for tuning in. We're gonna be locked in for this. We're probably gonna be here for another 5 hours at least. But I do want to ask y'all a question. So start a poll, mods. Please help me out. The reason why I'm shocked is whatever you believe in, Illuminati, whatever, I never thought Diddy was ever going to be charged. I always said the reason why Bill Cosby's where he's at is because he wasn't like Diddy. Yes, he had money, but he didn't have the cachet and the influence and wasn't really with those people that would prevent this from happening. R. Kelly just didn't, like, R. Kelly blew all that shit. You know what I mean? But Diddy, I thought no matter what the fuck happens, you wouldn't see him in cuffs. You wouldn't see this raid happening at his property. And I know you might be like, well, why wouldn't you say that when it happened to Jeffrey Epstein? Do you know what Jeffrey Epstein had to do before he really got in trouble? There was a time that motherfucker got in trouble that they had a secret proceeding in court and basically just gave him a slap on the wrist and told him to go the fuck home. Nobody knows what happened. They destroyed everything. They have treated certain people of power and influence who have been ingratiated with certain entities, and especially now we have a Democratic president, while Diddy's been one of the biggest proponent of voting for Democrat. I'm like, nah, ain't nobody nothing's gonna happen to, like, you would see it happen to Trump more because right now we're in the era of Biden. But now seeing this with Diddy, I'm like, whoa. Here's the poll. Did you or do you think, did you think that Diddy was ever going to be arrested for what we heard? By the way, he has not been arrested yet, but do you think he will be ever arrested? Because before today, I'd say, fuck no. Right now, I'm saying, uh-oh. Let's get back to it.
You know, that would mean that potentially, although there would definitely be arguments in court, that they could say, well, this is the same conspiracy. It was going on as of yesterday. And for that reason, we believe that we are going to be able to continue to prosecute no matter how old some of the initial complainants in the conspiracy were at the time. So those could be 20 years old. I mean, these cases are incredibly burdensome for a defense team. They're expensive. They're enormously stressful. I mean, if you can imagine also, you know, he's presumed innocent. It is presumed that he's done absolutely nothing wrong, which is really a hard thing for us to imagine watching what we're watching right now on camera. And for a defendant accused in a case of this nature, you know, especially with so much time potentially being at issue for witnesses to make claims, it's almost like having to prove a negative that it didn't happen, even though that's not what our Constitution or criminal court rules require.
So, of course, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but you are saying the very fact that these homes affiliated with Diddy are being raided in this fashion, it would be hard to, you know, down the line, you would be surprised, so to speak, if Diddy wasn't somewhat implicated in that. That's what my line of questioning is to you. You know, how likely is it that a family member, an employee, a staffer on the grounds, or so to speak, that they are involved primarily and that the homes just so happen to be owned by Sean Diddy Combs? Is that unlikely or likely in your history?
You know, just the fact that they're his residences you know, that does bring concern that they believe, anyway, that evidence of a serious federal crime is located in Combs's home, which leads one to believe that at a minimum they think that potentially there is some involvement. I mean, his home is involved because they got a judge to sign off on a warrant saying evidence of this serious crime is in it.
Sure.
So he's got a battle ahead.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to step away right now from these live pictures. Nicole, I want to get your thoughts on this piece of video from how this all kicked off here. Okay, so you see there, this is in the Holmby Hills neighborhood there in Los Angeles. Investigators detained someone, Nicole, and you see this right here. This is video. This is not live. This is from earlier. And I guess my question to you is, you know, what comes first, kind of the chicken or the egg, the indictment or the raid, or the raid or the indictment? Which comes first? Because you see there, they're detaining people on the ground. This was, what, maybe an hour ago. No doubt they're going to be questioned, possibly booked, not sure if they're going to be charged. We just don't know any of that. But presumably one has to happen for the other, right?
Believe it or not, it doesn't. They can actually they can execute a search warrant without charges being filed based on essentially a criminal complaint. So, no indictment in that instance. And sometimes they indict a case and they don't have everybody that they think is responsible listed in that indictment, or the grand jury hasn't indicted everybody who they think is a part of the case. And so
I'll call you back. Yo,
Okay.
Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yo, chat.
Hold on one second. Let me put on my headphones. You guys can hear me, but I can't hear you. I think I gotta route it through my other thing.
Okay. Yo, chat. We have a special guest here.
All right, I think I can hear you now. You still got me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Nice. Okay. What's up, bro?
Yo, chat. We have my man Myron Gaines from the Fresh and Fit podcast. If you guys don't know, someone who was a former federal agent at a point in his life. I believe he worked for DHS, correct?
Yeah, I was a Homeland Security HSI special agent from 2013 to 2020. And I was with the agency since 2010 as an intern. From 2010 to 2013, I was an intern. Then I became an agent in 2013. I resigned in 2020. Once, the podcast started to take off, they made me pick. So, but I left on good terms.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Hey, so I'm going to be honest with you. So I'm streaming live today. I'm talking about Drake and I'm talking about Kendrick. And like, my man Grand Wizard hits me. He's like, yo, Diddy's home getting raided. He's like, yo, Diddy's home's getting raided. And I'm like, that's fake. There's no way that his home would be getting raided. It's like, no, it's on Fox News. And it took me a little time, but I found it. And I'm looking on the screen. It's all on this thing. We're streaming it now. It says, basically, this whole thing has been headed up by HSI. They have raided 3 properties. His Los Angeles home, his Miami home, and his also New York home, which they haven't showed video of yet, but I believe that's an apartment, which, they'll just have to just go through the building to get access to. But now we have helicopters over LA and over Miami, figuring out what's going on with him. And I was super shocked by this because I didn't even know HSI cared about like shit like this. Could you give me, I don't know how much you've seen of this, could you give me like why the hell the feds would be interested in Diddy?
So I think I just fixed my mic. Does it sound better now?
Yeah, it sounds a little bit better.
Yeah, I turned the volume down a bit on it. So chat, let me know if it's good now. Put ones in the chat if it's good. But so I'm looking right now on your video and I see it was definitely HSI that raided it. It's probably the LA office that did it. The LA SAC office. But yeah, there's a multitude of reasons, man, why they would raid a house like that. But what I will tell you is this: for them to go ahead and get a search warrant means they got quite a bit of probable cause to search his home, because at the federal level, to get a federal search warrant, it's fairly difficult. You need a lot of probable cause.
Could you break that down for me, please? Like, because again, I shared my personal experience. I said they've executed a search warrant at my place before, and it was the simple premise was, hey, someone came to us saying that a crime got committed, and it said that you had a videotape of said crime, but you weren't willing to give it up. So we got to go get it. And that's it. Like, just seeing the text message and hearing that person's story, a judge signed off on it. They came in and got the DVR. They got whatever they needed to, look to see if it happened. Obviously nothing happened. No charges got brought. But on a federal level, what's actually needed?
So all right, when you get a search warrant through the feds, right, you have to go to a magistrate judge to get one, right? And a magistrate judge, think of it as kind of a lower level judge than a district judge. And a district judge, you'd go to them to get like a Title III, to get your to listen to a phone tap, or whenever someone's getting sentenced and a criminal case is actually proceeding. But to go ahead and get a search warrant, a simple search warrant, you just need a magistrate judge. However, AUSAs are very picky about giving search warrants, because for you to get a search warrant, you have to go through a federal prosecutor to do it, and then the U.S. Attorney's Office files a search warrant on your behalf, right, with the judge, and then you go ahead and you're able to go ahead and execute it. So whenever you have somebody high profile like a Diddy, like R. Kelly, because R. Kelly actually, HSI did the R. Kelly case as well. Anytime you have a high profile guy and they know that they're going to have the news out there with them doing raids, etc., they're going to make sure that search warrant is airtight. They're going to make sure they have a lot of probable cause. Now, with that said, for them to get a search warrant like this tells me they have multiple informants and sources of information, more than likely. People that are cooperating, giving them information. Because for you to be able to get inside of a house, you need actionable info within somewhere between 2 weeks to a month. So that tells me that someone was in the home, saw some stuff that was questionable, contacted the feds, and they're able to go ahead and get that search warrant through a judge, because the search warrant needs to be fresh with information for you to be able to get in, especially when you got somebody high profile like this.
Okay. So again, excuse my ignorance, but because I think a lot of people view the feds as like, we don't even know what they do on a daily. So wait, how would this even be initiated? Like, does someone come to someone's cubicle and be like, hey, I think Diddy's fucking a bunch of people and trafficking in them? Like, how does this even get started? Like, okay, say you're an agent, right? Because you used to be an agent. If you're an agent, how would you get this started? Do you have to go to your superior? Do you have to, like, kind of get other people on board with this? Because I can't imagine a judge is just like, you have a thought and then you just write it up and a judge just listens to it immediately. Who would you have to talk to get, because it got to be an investigation of some sorts before this even starts, right?
Yeah. So, okay. So I could take you, there's many ways that this could begin, but I can give you a typical scenario of how it'll happen, right?
Okay.
So you'll be sitting there, right? And you'll get a tip, right? Like the duty agent, right? So there's something called a duty agent. And the duty agent is the guy that's on call that day. So it can be very easy where, like, someone will call in a tip, hey, I got this information, blah, blah, blah. It gets fielded to the duty agent. Now, if nobody already has an open case on Diddy, the duty agent is responsible for either A, taking that case, or delegating it to the proper group. Now, this is the LA field office, right? And guys, I'm going to give you a lot of detail here, so bear with me. So this is the LA field office. I know they have a human trafficking group and they have a human smuggling group. So more than likely what happened was, if it came from a source and there wasn't already an open case on Diddy, it got routed through the duty agent to this human trafficking group. Whoever was on duty for the human trafficking group that day, right, because there's a general duty agent and a human trafficking agent, right, will take the case. So they get the case, they get the information, they meet with the source. The source says, hey, I got this information, XYZ. The agent verifies it. What information do you have? Oh, I got toll records, I was in the house, I got these pictures, blah, 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 right? So the agent, looking at the information, will then decide, okay, I'm going to open up an actual formal investigation. They open up a case, they generate a case number. Once they generate a case number, they put in that initial report of investigation, right, or ROI. Then, then they go to their supervisor, hey, I got this information, I think it's good, here's the source. Sometimes the supervisor will want to meet with the source and you debrief them together. Something like this, they probably debrief the source multiple times, or they have multiple sources, right? And I can see right now, I'm watching your video, that this is all HSI. So 100% they ran this thing, which is I expect, because HSI actually does human trafficking. But anyway, they get that information from the source. Then they call the AUSA's office. Hey, I got this information. We have reason to believe that Diddy's involved in some sex trafficking, blah, blah, blah. Here's my information. AUSA goes through it. Okay, good. Write up an affidavit. That agent writes up an affidavit. AUSA goes through it. AUSA pushes up his chain now. He pushes it up all the way to United States Attorney for the District of Los Angeles, right? Or the Central District of California is probably going to be, or Southern District, California, depending on where LA falls. I think it's either Central or Southern District, California. Either way, then Assistant United States Attorney pushes that affidavit up all the way to the USA. That's a presidentially appointed position. They approve it. They say, all right, it's good to go. It's been through multiple layers.
Wait, hold on. So wait. So you're saying all this has to happen before what we're watching?
Yes, 100%.
Oh shit!
I'm explaining to you the full process of how it goes. So, agent writes the affidavit, sends it to AUSA. AUSA sends it up all the way the chain, especially something big like this. USA goes ahead and signs off on it. Then they they send it directly to the judge. The agent goes to the judge's chambers, swears to the affidavit. Is everything in this affidavit true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Yes, it is. Boom, sign it. Now they got the warrant, and they could go kick the door in.
Wow.
That's how they do it from A to Z. That's how it would typically work. Or it could have been the other option is this. There was already an open case on Diddy. They've been looking for it. They've been investigating this for a while. Maybe complaints came in or whatever. And then they finally got the probable cause to go ahead and search the houses.
Hey, oh my God. So how does this coordination work? Because this was also alarming to me. So they're raiding 3 different states: California, New York, and Florida at the same time. How much I just threw, like, so you know me, I'm like a pocket watcher guy. So I'm like, yo, this has to cost the feds like $100,000. So many people, manpower. They have to coordinate with law enforcement locally. This is 3 houses that are huge that they all have to go get in whatever amount of time. How does that coordination work? And how is the resources even allocated? And how does like even HSI or the feds treat this type of huge, extensive operation, right?
Yeah, sure. So this is how it goes, right? What ends up happening is there's going to be one case agent and the lead office, right? So it's either going to be New York, Miami, or LA is the lead office. And then there's one case agent, right? Now that case agent is a part of something called a group. Every group has somewhere between 7 to 15 guys, right? That's composed of HSI special agents, task force officers, etc. So that case agent is responsible for this investigation. Then he identifies other properties that the suspect might have, one in Miami, one in LA, one in New York, right? And what he does is he reaches out to his counterparts. They sent something called a collateral. All right, I'm really getting into detail now with y'all. So he sent a collateral request to those other field offices and says, yo, I'm getting search warrants, right, on this property. I also need search warrants in Miami and in New York. So he needs a judge to sign off. He needs 3 different judges to sign off because you can't get a search warrant for a property that's not in your district as a judge. So the case agent...
Wait, even federally?
Yeah, no, you have to go to a judge in that district if you're going to do a search warrant. So,
oh, wow.
So for example, they got a judge from LA, Central District of Los Angeles, which I think is where LA falls in, or the Southern District of California. Sorry, Southern District of California. Then they got one out of depending on where Diddy is in New York City, Southern District of New York. Then they got another one here out of the Southern District of Florida, right? Those 3 magistrate judges signed. But more than likely, the case agent coordinated with other agents in the Miami field office and the New York field office to get the search warrants. I'm not sure who wrote the affidavits. It probably was the main case agent because he's going to have all the facts. He wrote the affidavits, then he gave it to those agents in those other places, and they swear to it. If you read any affidavit, it says, you know, the information presented is merely to establish probable cause, and it's information given to me by other agents and law enforcement personnel. That's what that means, that sentence. Because that other agent out of LA, who's probably the main case agent, he wrote affidavits for the Miami properties and for the New York properties, sent it to an agent over there in New York and in Miami. They swore to it in their district with their judge. Then they were able to simultaneously do search warrants at each property. And then he also, on top of sending the affidavit over there, he probably sent them a collateral request to do a search warrant. So there's an open case in New York, there's an open case in LA, and there's an open case in Miami, all under the main case number, probably based out of Los Angeles. I'm assuming the case agent is probably out of LA.
Wow. Hey, recently, it's so crazy to me that this is why I thought it wouldn't happen. Recently, you know, New York City's mayor, and I'm wondering how much. So when this is going on, how much are like elected officials even briefed on it? Like, for example, not too long ago, New York City's mayor Eric Adams actually gave Diddy the key to the city. You know, do they usually know, like, hey, you know, we're investigating this guy and we might take him in, or we might actually make some moves on trying to get him, you know, charged in the foreseeable future? I think this happened within the last year or year and a half.
Yeah, hold on, bro. You cut out there. I'm sorry, man. Is it something about the mayor of New York? I'm sorry.
Yes. So the mayor of New York gave Diddy a key to the city.
Okay.
And this happened pretty much like in the last year and a half, I believe. Now, do you think that an elected official, while all this is happening, would be almost brief, like, hey, listen, you want to stay away from this guy because we are investigating him. He might be the subject of an investigation that we might take him in, because this looks embarrassing for the mayor of New York, who, by the way, himself has certain type of allegations as well.
Yeah, no, they definitely didn't tell him anything. Guaranteed.
Really?
Yeah, shit. Yeah, like whenever you're doing an investigation like this, high profile or whatever it may be, you're gonna do everything in your power. And I'm looking at your video right now, like from this. I could see that there's higher level brass at this search warrant too. Like everybody's out here. I'm looking right now at your video.
Wait, how could you tell? How could you tell? How could you tell?
I could tell because the way they're dressed. So like the guys that are there wearing suits and shit like that, those do like 99% of HSI agents don't wear a suit every day to work. They just don't. Like, bro, that we used to make fun of people that do that shit, right? So I see guys in formal wearing, etc. Those guys are more than likely assistant special agents in charge, special agents in charge, deputy special agents in charge, etc. Something big like this, I'm sure that they would all be out there too. But yeah. But as far as like the mayor of New York, nah, they didn't tell him shit, bro. Guaranteed. Like they especially if he has his own allegations going. Whenever the feds are doing cases like this, they try to keep it hush hush because they know it'll be a big deal if it gets out there. The fact that they were able to pull this off without the press being out there immediately and disrupting what they got going on, hey, they did some pretty good OPSEC.
Wow. So, okay. Now, a lot of people are looking at this and they're thinking that Diddy is already in cuffs. From what I heard on the news report, they said the feds probably strategically planned this because Diddy boarded a plane leaving either the LA or the Miami residence today, and they did it while he was away. But I could imagine wherever he landed at, they probably greeted him and probably served him saying, hey, listen, we did do search warrant or whatever. What's the likelihood of basically, since now it's public and they did a search warrant, that he'll either be in cuffs, or do you think this is a grand jury proceeding where we won't see Diddy in cuffs until there's an indictment?
Yeah, so the thing is they don't really need to do anything as far as like letting the subject of the search warrant know. The only thing they have to do is they got to give Diddy a return. So once they do their search warrant and they're done, they have to give him a list of all the things they took from him, right? So that he knows, and it's going to be numbered and all that other stuff, right? Because you have to do that by law. Whatever you take, you have to let them know what you took specifically. However, the fact that they're doing a search warrant, it's not good. I would say there's a very high likelihood that he might get arrested after this. Because what people need to understand is you need a significant amount of probable cause to go into someone's home, right? So when you look at like getting a search warrant, right, for like a phone versus getting a search warrant for like a computer or getting a search warrant for a house or an email, etc., the house is always at the top of the hierarchy because that's considered your castle, right? So for you to be able to get a search warrant on a home, it requires by far the most probable cause. I'll say the only thing that beats out a house is getting a wiretap for probable cause. So,
hey, can I ask you this?
Yeah, go ahead.
So now, here's also the thing that I think makes this very interesting. Like some of the allegations and what we've just heard publicly, they span all the way back to the 90s.
Yeah.
Now, because of the time span, how does that change the scenario? Because, like, again, if someone is like, yo, hey, listen, this happened, yo, there might be a couple of VHS tapes this motherfucker kept of like him having these little orgies. It's like, what is the time span of this criminal, accusation? Because really, it spanned from the 90s to now. How would like HSI or any like government body treat that?
So that's a really good question. All right. So the most federal crimes have a 5-year statute of limitations, right? I'm looking. It looks like the FBI is out there too. I'm looking at this Fox News thing. It looks like that.
Really?
I can tell from their vest. It looks like the bureau's out there too.
Oh,
okay.
Fuck.
So, all right. And the sheriff's office, it looks like. But anyway, most federal crimes have a 5-year statute of limitations, right? So, since most crimes have that statute of limitations, obviously, if there were allegations from the 90s, they can't do anything. However, right, if the feds could prove that this has been a continuing conspiracy, that he's been doing this shit since then and he's still doing it up to 5 years ago, all that shit comes in. All that stuff comes in, right? Because they're gonna, and they could also, if If they also wanted, they could go through a RICO way to do it as well. If they could identify other people in his organization that have been helping him out, doing this crap, et cetera, RICO is also a way to get around the statute of limitations. That's how they were able to indict all these mafia guys for stuff that was going on, a decade prior, et cetera. And it's because they're able to establish, there's a continual conspiracy. They've been doing this shit for a while. He's still doing it. And then all that stuff comes in.
Man,
that's how they're able to get around the statute of limitations problems.
Yo, this looks bad. I'm going to be honest with you. Again, first of all, I was saying about like just Diddy's ability to make an income. Yes, he has certain type of shit baked in. Like, for example, he makes a lot of money off publishing. And if you listen to a Biggie record or certain Bad Boy artists, he's always going to get money from. It's actually a sizable amount of money he'll always get. But the majority of the money that really, because he was catapulted into a billionaire status, which, by the way, other than him, before, the only times I can remember raids being done, obviously they did one on Mar-a-Lago for Trump. But, they're almost kind of, that Trump raid isn't this. Like, they're almost looking like this, like, is a Epstein type of thing. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, what, his income is going to be like trashed. Like, it's no way he's going to be making whatever he was making previously just off of this headline. Is part of the Fed strategy when they're going up against a high profile person like Diddy. Hey, listen, this is a guy of multiple resources, many finances. We should attack him in a public type of forum that would probably hurt those things and probably help our case in possibly either bringing charges or getting a conviction. Because, infamously, what's my guy's name again? Irv Gotti said he felt the part of the Fed strategy was to deplete him of the resources. Like, for example, they audited like the label and audited his business, so he couldn't use money as freely as needed. So when it came to his other friends that were charged with like really heinous crimes, he couldn't contribute to their legal fees or anything like that. And he felt that was a ploy for the government to get him. You get what I mean? Yeah. I know it's super early, but like watching this happen with Diddy, I'm like, how could Diddy make a living now?
Yeah, I fixed my mic a little bit. I adjusted it. Let me know if that sounds better.
Oh no, it sounds way better.
It sounds way better. All right,
yeah,
sorry about that, chat. Give me ones in the chat if it's good. Okay, so let's talk. Okay, so I see what you're saying here. So let's attack this from, I guess, overall. Do the feds actively go after your income?
Yes.
To purposely cripple you financially so you can't defend yourself?
Yes. Yeah, that's the question.
The answer is it depends. So if they know that your money is illicit, they will. They'll freeze your bank accounts. They know you're a drug dealer, etc. They will, right? I turned my volume up a little bit. All right, guys, I turned it up just a little bit, but I brought it down because I'm on Discord. But I brought it up a little bit. Should be good now. Give me ones if it's good now. I just turned it up just a tad. Anyway, so do they purposely go try to cripple you financially? No, unless they know that you got your funds illicitly. Let's say you're a drug trafficker, etc. Yeah, they're definitely going to move to freeze your money. Now, with that said, Diddy has legit money, right? He made it off the music business, off Ciroc, etc. Most of it, more than likely, is probably going to be clean money. He shouldn't have an issue with that. But if they could show that you were money laundering for a drug trafficking organization or some other unlawful, it's called PUA. It's called SUA, specified unlawful activity, right? Then they're going to go after your money. So that's step one. But if they don't, then it is what it is. The real reason why the feds win most of their cases, bro, is because they do their investigation for a long period of time. Oh, shit. Is that fucking Tony?
What?
Bro, I think I recognize one of the guys on the floor here right now that they're showing on TV. On your stream.
Man, rest in peace, Diddy, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Anyway. It's great. Hey, if you recognize some of your former coworkers, it's over for Diddy, man.
Yo, what the fuck, bro? Yo.
Damn.
I digress. So, yo, what the hell? Anyway, so the reason why the feds beat so many people isn't necessarily because they cripple you financially when they go after people like this that have a lot of money. It's because they've done their investigation for years prior to them coming after you. right? Or at least a year or several months. Like, they're not going to go ahead and execute a search warrant unless they're 100% certain that they're going to probably get some evidence out of that. And they're not going to indict you unless they're 100% sure that they're going to win the case. The fucking the United States Attorney's Office, bro, has like a 98% win rate, and it's because they don't even indict unless they're ready for trial. I remember, I'll tell you guys this for personal experience. So anytime I would give my grand jury package to an AUSA, right, which is all the documents, all the evidence to indict the case, the AUSA would always tell me, I need more. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why do you need so much, bro? This is just probable cause. But they're like, no, I need everything to go for trial right here, right now. So I couldn't even give them the package and then push it up for indictment unless the AUSA felt like they're ready for trial. That's how thorough they are with this stuff.
Wow. This looks really bad. So, in terms of timing, it was interesting to note. They said that the feds they knew what was going on. They said they allowed Diddy to leave the property, and then they did this. So they put his sons in cuffs. But as far as we know, Diddy flew somewhere else. Is there a thought towards, like, if you have a search warrant to serve, are you gonna make sure the person? Obviously, this is a different situation because there's multiple properties, and also they probably want to feel like they're catching these people at the most off guard time. Is there a way to kind of normally serve a search warrant? Like, okay, they won't be expecting it this time, or you're like, hey, we're just gonna show up when we show up.
Yeah, so it's standard procedure that once you're doing a search warrant, everyone that's in the house gets handcuffed. It's just like a safety thing. It doesn't mean you're under arrest or whatever. They just restrain you and make sure they remove all the people outside of the premises, and then they basically own the house while they're doing their search warrant. So they handcuff everybody, remove them from the property, and then they go in and they do what they got to do. So it doesn't necessarily mean you're arrested. They just detain you for safety reasons.
Jesus. By the way, according to what at least First 11 is saying, or First Coast News is saying, they're saying that the feds are looking into possibly charges of, sex trafficking, illegal possessions of firearms. Let me see what else they said. Says sources tell NBC Diddy is the subject of a federal investigation. My bad, I'm waiting until it scrolls past. With witnesses interviewed regarding allegations of sex trafficking. Witnesses, okay, that's a problem. With sex trafficking, assault, drug possession, illegal firearm possession. Wow. Why would Homeland Security? I thought Homeland Security was like meant to, like, after the horrific situation with 9/11. I thought Homeland Security was meant to like prevent things like that. Like, why do they care if Diddy's having some orgies? He likes when other men have sex with his wives. That's his thing.
Yeah. So this is something that a lot of people don't know about HSI, which I obviously always used to blame the agency for being really bad with marketing. Human trafficking is actually like an HSI-led crime. I know people say, oh, the FBI does it too, blah, blah. Yeah, they do. But I would say more than the HSI does it more often and are better at it. And the reason why a lot of times is because they could do human trafficking domestically with like U.S. citizens, as you see right now. And they can also do human trafficking with foreign nationals, because the FBI doesn't really have the capability of doing investigations on foreign national on cases that also involve immigration. Like, yeah, they have immigration authority, but they don't have the ability to really deal with it, right? Because they don't have access to A files, immigration databases, a bunch of government jargon that I won't get into now. But the point is that the Bureau HSI definitely does human trafficking. They're the ones that actually prosecuted R. Kelly for it. So it's just something that they do that no one knows.
Hey, let me ask you a question. So I've been honestly trolling with Young Miami, and I'm like, whatever. But clearly, she's also spoken about certain sexual encounters and mentioned other women who actually accused Diddy of certain sexual, crimes. But she's like, hey, Diddy I could have had Diddy have you do this and third. How confident are you? Again, I know probably limited details, just like us. how confident are you that with all what we're seeing now, right? That there was probably at least someone who was speaking to the government and telling them not only maybe what's going on, but maybe what they could find. Because that was the big thing with Mar-a-Lago, right? Like it wasn't just like, hey, just come in. It was like, hey, they got all them paperwork right over there. You know what I mean? So they came in with a purpose. They didn't just come in to run around and just like, kind of have like a house tour.
Yeah. So I'm 90% plus confident that they have sources that have been in all of these properties. That's how they're able to get actionable information, right? So I'm 90% sure. Number two, also, I wanted to mention this. Since I'm assuming they wrote these warrants, right? Whenever you write a search warrant, you need to allege the crimes that are being committed, right? So they probably wrote these search warrants. I think someone put firearms as well. They probably wrote these search warrants for sex trafficking, right? How the feds get venue with sex trafficking or human trafficking, whatever it is there needs to be an interstate nexus. As you can see clearly here, they got 3 properties in 3 different districts identified. That gives them the venue to now do with it because there's interstate nexus, which automatically is going to involve the feds. But as far as them having informants, etc., I'm 90% plus sure because for you to be able to get into a home on a search warrant, you need info that's fresh. That's really big on federal search warrants is fresh information within the past few weeks.
Hey, okay. So let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
As someone who was a former agent, now we've all seen in the media that there's been many allegations, but these allegations happen to be coming out via civil lawsuits. As someone who's only, your job is to pursue criminal charges, how much could you piggyback off civil information or information alleged on a civil level to maybe either be a source of your investigation or even to pursue something even in terms of an overall investigation in trying to get somebody incarcerated? Because this is what people are thinking, right? Yo, you should have this is the whole thought for the hip-hop universe. Yo, if you would pay Cassie, she wouldn't have said nothing. If she hadn't said nothing, nobody would have sued you, and basically no charges would have ever came because her speaking and her filing that civil lawsuit led to a lot of conversation in the media. Now maybe an investigation opened up. So how much do you guys weigh civil, lawsuits or, allegations of that sort?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you this. I'm 100% certain that they talked to Cassie. 100% certain that they probably went ahead, interviewed her, asked her what her experience was like, blah, blah, blah.
Why would you say 100%? Why would you say 100%?
Why would I say 100%? Because she was with him for so long and she knows all the players. So if I'm running a human trafficking case like this or sex trafficking case like this, and I got someone that I know did a civil lawsuit and was very close to this individual for years, has intimate knowledge of where his properties are, has intimate knowledge of his associates, phone numbers, addresses, etc., because Cassie's probably privy to all that shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to interview her and being like, yo, I know you got your civil lawsuit, but we need some information, blah, blah, blah. Clearly, she don't like Diddy, so she's going to give all the information that they need. So I guarantee you, they talked to her, and even if she didn't have, let's say, hypothetically, she didn't have actionable information on, like, what's in the houses, right?
Yeah.
Let's say she didn't have it because she hadn't been there for so long. She can point them to other people that fuck with him that they can go and interview. That's also another big thing why I think that they definitely talked to her, because she can lead them in the right directions to get the information they need because she was with him for so long. So I'm 99% sure that they talked to Cassie. She led them to other people. They talked to those people. Some of those people turned. They got information. They went in these houses. They took pictures. They gave actionable information. They were just, getting all this evidence. And then, bam, next thing you know, all right, we got the probable cause for all 3 properties. Cool. We're going to do a multi-search warrant operation. They probably did a big-ass brief this morning with everybody there, right, on teleconference and everything in the different jurisdictions, and they all hit the house at the same time. They all got the warrant signed around the same time and did the hit at the same time. Because keep in mind, once you get a search warrant, you have about 7 days to execute. You don't have to hit it right then and there.
Okay, so when do they have to turn over? Well, okay, so they already probably turned over the, I know Diddy's lawyers are either on the way to these properties or whatever the case. They have to give a copy of the search warrant to the lawyers, right?
they're going to give a copy of the return. I don't know if they're going to get, I mean, obviously Diddy's going to get a copy of the affidavit. That's what I want to read because that's going to have the probable cause in there and how they did it.
Would that be on Pacer? Do you know?
It could be. More than likely it'll be sealed though. It's probably going to be sealed.
Okay.
Because
okay,
I
that makes
guarantee you
sense.
they probably put a seal order on this thing for that very reason since it's such a big case.
Wow. Holy shit.
I wouldn't be surprised if they, because I used to do that with my search warrants. If I was like going to go after somebody that had some money or somebody that had a little bit of clout or something like that, I would ask for a seal order on the search warrant too, so people can't pull it up.
Give me what you're looking at and what you think is probably gonna most likely happen.
So, I can confidently say at this point, there's 100% informants involved, multiple informants because it's multiple jurisdictions. So
Young Miami is one of them. Trust me.
Yep. So there's definitely
Carisha.
multiple sources of information.
Carisha,
That's one.
Please. Okay. All right. Really?
Go ahead.
Wait,
You were
hold
saying
on,
something?
wait, no, hold on. No. Well, no, I was saying I was making a joke about, like I said, Young Miami is probably one of them. No, but let me ask you this question. Well,
Yeah.
if you're the feds, how could you get an informant unless maybe they were involved themselves? Because if I was someone who was just an employee of Combs Enterprise or whatever, I'd be like, I'm not cooperating with you guys. This has nothing to do with me. I just do my job. I'm gonna go home. Like, what leverage do the feds have to try to get an informant, or how would you particularly flip an informant if you were investigating this case and then you run into someone who may be working for him or whatever the case is?
This is a very good question. So, so for me to properly answer this, I got to break it down for you how it goes, right? So, not every informant is the same, right? So, and I'm going to break down all the different types of informants that the feds use. So, there's a confidential informant, right? A confidential informant is a paid source. 9 out of 10 times when you read reports, they're referred to as CI number XYZ or human source XYZ, blah, 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 right? The FBI, DEA, everybody, we have different terms for it, but typically that's a paid informant, right? That's one, right? 2 is you have a cooperating defendant. And a cooperating defendant might not necessarily be signed up and gets paid, but they're trying to work off a charge, or you have charges over their head, right? That's 2. 3rd is what we call a source of information. This is someone that, is providing information freely. They might be an enemy of the individual, right? That they're giving information against, a competitor, whatever it may be. They're just giving this information because they have some kind of reason for it, right? So that's a source of information. Then you get like the Good Samaritans that just call in and, give the information just because. But only one of them is paid. One of them is working off charges most of the time, and the other 2 can be for retribution, revenge, or whatever, or a Good Samaritan. So those are the 3 types of informants that you deal with: confidential informants, source of information, and cooperating defendants. So in this case, it might be a combination of all of them. Like, let's say they pinched one of Diddy's employees. Hey, we caught you with drugs. Oh, okay, I don't want to go down for this. I'll provide some information. Or let's say someone is a competitor of Diddy, right? Doesn't like Bad Boy, has an issue with him, etc. Comes to the feds. Hey, did you guys know that he's doing XYZ at his house? This is how I know. Boom, right? Or it could be a paid confidential informant that they've worked with before that has intimate knowledge of music execs doing a bunch of bullshit. So it could be any of the 3. It could be any of the 3. Cassie would fall under like the source of information parameter, where she's providing the information fairly freely, and she has an axe to grind with him. And obviously, when you take information from people like this, you have to be very careful because they might lie, they might sensationalize things because they dislike the person, and that's where it's important. Where you gotta, it's called independently corroborating that information.
God damn, man, this is bad.
Yeah, it's not good at all, man. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if charges aren't filed by this year.
Okay, but you do believe they're gathering stuff to present to a grand jury, right? You don't think the grand jury has possibly convened yet? No, right?
Nah. I highly doubt it. They're probably getting the information now to try to get him indicted. Because to be honest with you, if they had the information to indict him, they would have indicted him and did the search warrant. They would have done it all in one day and arrested him the same day. If that makes sense?
No, completely get it. Wow. If you have some knowledge of how the R. Kelly situation went,
Yeah.
is it in your opinion that this is anything close? Like, I mean, obviously the media hoopla is going to be what it is, but do you feel like this might be something that, because with the R. Kelly thing, for me, they sunk their teeth in it, no Diddy, and then they literally kept bringing up more shit. They were like, oh, well, there's some shit in Chicago, and what about the shit over here? It was clear that they weren't going to let him go. What do you, like,
Yeah.
What's your inclination towards this? Like, you don't think they're looking at it like that at all, right?
No, I would say they're going to look at it very similarly.
Really?
You know, yeah. So, right. I would argue that the R. Kelly case was a almost like damn near like a test dummy on how to do federal sex/human trafficking cases on celebrities, right? Get a bunch of witnesses. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a number of witnesses just like R. Kelly did in this situation, right? So, I would say it's going to be very similar to what R. Kelly had going on, because it's similar charges. So that means that they are doing the investigation probably very similarly, right? Feds don't like to rewrite the wheel, man. You know, you always get like a go by report from a colleague. Like, you know, you don't rewrite the wheel. You kind of just do. If it's worked before, I guarantee the agent that did the R. Kelly case is probably in communication with the agent doing this case. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Yo, it's gonna be a crazy type of question, but
Sure.
what do you believe? I was gonna ask, what do you believe? Wait, did I forget my question? Maybe I did. I think I forgot the question, but I knew it had to do with something with watching how this is going on, and no, I forgot the question. I don't know. I'm in disbelief, bro.
Nah, it's crazy, bro. I mean, I project that we will see charges probably by the end of this year.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. The question just popped back in my mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, this is just the thought of me, maybe some people, like, especially in the hip-hop community. I would think that Diddy is of the realm and echelon that, especially, you know, he could have done things to avoid this from happening. Like I remember even Trump saying that, you know, being cool with, I forgot who the FBI director was. I was like, he was like, oh, well, Hillary's cool with this person. This is why she never got blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I got to imagine at a certain level, you are cool with, or you could get cool with certain people to have the influence that you would not get these charges. Do you think that Diddy would, or have you ever seen cases or situations where people have these influences with these people who are in the in crowd that these charges or these indictments or raids never happen?
So when it comes to the feds, bro, anytime they have a high profile target like a Diddy, an R. Kelly, etc., and this is kind of, you know, with all federal law enforcement agencies, they're going to go even harder, bro, because they look at it like it's a big press release.
They're going to go
it's a
harder?
case. Like, they're going to go at that person, right? If it's a dirty cop or anything like that, they go even harder because they know that they have to make sure that they have their T's crossed and their I's dotted. So, as soon as they got information on this and it seemed verified, they're going to go hard in the paint.
Jeez.
I mean, I'm looking right now, like, I'm looking at the Fox News thing. The fact that they brought out the fucking truck, bro, like they brought out the fucking evidence truck, like, bruh, that's overkill, nigga. Like, yo, we like you don't do that shit for everybody.
Yeah,
You know, they brought the evidence truck. I see ASACs out there. You know, I see literally like a bunch of agents. Like, yeah, this is a big deal. They're going hard. All three of these offices are locked in. Like, this isn't a normal search warrant.
God damn, man. Okay, this is probably a part of usually these things that you're not experienced on, which is probably rare. But still, if you're Diddy, what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do?
If you're Diddy, what do you do?
Yeah, again, you're used to being on the opposite side where you're going for the guys,
no
but
question.
like if let's just put you in Diddy's shoes today, you get on a flight, you're going to, I don't know, you're probably going to go to a meeting or whatever. You see all this happening. You have 10 million lawyers blowing you up, but they're still asking you, what do you want to do? They're probably giving you their opinion, but what do you do?
That's a good ass question, bro. Obviously, right? You're gonna secure the best legal counsel that you can, right? You're not gonna say shit to the police, right? You're gonna try to see if you can get any of these documents, right? I mean, it'll be tough for you to get the search warrant.
What about if they ask you to come in to talk to them?
I would go with my lawyer, but I will go just to see what they're gonna ask me and what they know. But I wouldn't say shit.
Really?
Yeah, I would go just to see what they're gonna ask me, and not answer questions. And that's kind of where like you go in with your lawyer.
Yeah.
And y'all kind of just try to figure out what's going on. Or you don't show up at all. But I would show up with my lawyer if they ask me to come in just to hear what they're gonna ask me.
Fuck. Yo, that's so interesting because I think that's what everybody always wants to like. You know, when they're thinking that, okay, how do you like plan against what the police already have for you?
Yeah, no, it's tough, bro. I mean, you know, obviously I'd like to get my hand on that search warrant, the affidavit, because that's going to have a fuck ton of information. Those three affidavits that were filed, because remember, one was filed in Miami, one was filed in LA, and one was filed in New York. That's three different affidavits, probably three different affidavits as well, right? I'm sure they all have similar information in them.
Could you use maybe the same incidents or dates? Like could they be like, hey, listen, on I don't know, on January 15th, he was either in Miami, New York, or Florida, or Miami, New York, or LA, and we think this happened. We have probable cause to think this happened, or they have to list specific incidents relating to each places, basically claim that things are where they are at different times, because that's a lot more work, right?
And that's what has me worried. They had to list specific times for each property. That's why I'm confident that this is he's probably going to get arrested at some point. They had to list specific incidents at specific times per property. Not only that, they have to say what evidence they think is in that property and what they intend to seize at that property.
Okay, this is a dumb question. And when I mean a dumb question, it's a question.
Nah, there's no dumb question, bro.
So, you know, I spoke about it before. So Russell Simmons, who was, you know, he was getting accused of a lot of things before even Diddy. He moved to Bali. So he's in Bali. He's there doing yoga. And who knows if there's an investigation, but because he's always out of reach of the U.S. government, and I'm not too sure what the extradition statutes are there, he's primarily stayed there and probably also made the U.S. government or maybe whatever U.S. body that would be investigating him be like, you know what? This guy's not even coming back here. Why waste our resources? While Diddy's here like fucking popping bottles in every club, I mean fucking Harlem shaking, take that, which I think is almost thumbing your nose in the face of people who are actively looking to see if you did something wrong. Do you think leaving the country, not now for Diddy, but like say for like other people who may have done things, and from your experience, if your perpetrator was out of country, do you still do the full investigation? Or you're like, I'll wait till he gets stateside.
So good question. So we actually don't have an extradition treaty with Indonesia, it's Bali. So that would make sense why, you know, Russell Brand is. You said it was not. Excuse me,
Russell Simmons. Wait, we don't have We don't have
Yeah.
we don't have a treaty with them for like extradition.
No, we don't.
Oh,
We
you
don't have
picked the
it
right
with them.
place.
China, Indonesia, Iran, Mongolia, Russia, a couple other countries. Typically, countries that we're not that friendly with, we don't have extradition treaties with them. However, what I will say is, you could still get somebody out of these countries. You gotta and then it becomes a case by case a case by case basis. But you would file something called an MLAT, is how you would get someone extradited.
Explain.
So an MLAT is basically, I think it stands for like a mutual lateral agreement. But the United States Attorney's Office, what they do is they file the MLAT with the country, right? And then that country decides if they're going to honor that MLAT or not. And then that will go ahead and begin the formal extradition process. Now, MLATs are a pain in the ass, bro. I've dealt with a few of them. They could take up to years to get someone over, because now you start to get into political realms where, oh, are we going to extradite this guy? The governments are starting to make deals at the top level, et cetera, et cetera. So, but it can be done. You just got to file an MLAT with the United States Attorney's Office. That's how you get someone that's foreign.
Oh my God. Yo, I'm looking at this video and it says Homeland Security investigation with the big ass truck, and you can tell they put the extended shit out.
Bro, that's what I'm telling you. They don't bring that truck out for nothing, man. When I saw that, I was like, what the fuck, man? Only big field officers have that. So,
yo, they're setting up shop. Yo, hold on. So just off of the scale of this, do you think that, they've probably been there, let's say they've been there like 4 hours or so. Do you think they'll be wrapping it up in the next 2 or 3? Or do you think that they're like, yo, listen, we're here all night?
Yeah, they're going to be there all day, bro.
Really?
They're going to be there all day, 100%. The fact that they brought the truck out, they have this many agents at each property, they're going to be there all day, because what they're going to probably do is they're looking for documents. They're definitely looking for digital stuff, right? They're going to take every laptop, every computer, every phone, every tablet. They're going to take all that shit, put them in Faraday bags. They're going to take all financial documents that they see. They're going to take all that shit, man. So it's going to take them a while to go through it. So they're going to be there probably into the evening, maybe even into tomorrow morning, because the thing is that once you leave the property, it's done. You can't go back in. So they're going to make sure they take their time and get everything that they need.
Okay. I've only seen this in the movies, so I'm asking you this on a hypothetical. Is there any way, we're assuming Diddy, a billionaire, best lawyers ever in the world, is it a way he could challenge his search warrant while the search is happening, or does he have to wait till it has basically ended?
Yeah, he's going to have to wait, because what he's going to have to do is he won't be able to challenge it until he gets discovery, right? So, and what that is for the audience is, once charges are brought against him, he's going to get something called discovery, which is all the information that the government has on him, right? And then in that discovery, he'll be able to see precisely what led to the search warrant. Then his lawyers can look and be like, oh, wait, hold on. They broke the law here. Oh, they did this is a violation here, blah, blah, blah. Then they could challenge the search warrant. And then all fruits of that search warrant will be suppressed if they successfully win a suppression hearing. But they're going to need to have the affidavit in play, the affidavit in play for them to be able to suppress it. So they'll have to wait until discovery to be able to challenge it, and then everything that came from it.
Wow.
And then the motion for a suppression hearing, which I've done 100 of those. I could talk about how suppression hearings go, etc. But yeah.
Any chance that Diddy knew this was happening beforehand?
If the feds did it right, probably not. Because you're not even gonna, if you're gonna do a search warrant, you're not gonna notify them until the day of, and your agents are already in the property. Then you'll reach out to them or whatever. And obviously, when you're someone like Diddy, right, you're doing everything where HSI is probably dealing directly with a law firm, so they'll just go ahead and give that law firm the return with all the stuff that they took. They're gonna make sure they have their T's crossed, I's dotted. Because anytime you go after powerful people like this that have a lot of money, you got to make sure that you're on point and everything is extremely tight.
Wow.
That's why they brought the evidence truck out. That's why they got all these people. They're doing this. They're going to do this shit by the book on this one.
Hey, and I was thinking, again, I'm like the ghetto lawyer when I'm like doing some of these things. But here's the thing. So when I heard the report at first, they approached, or they said they gained access to the property, not through the front door, but through a side door. That was easy to do. And I said to myself, Sounds like they probably had a blueprint of the property, or maybe they knew a little bit about it. They didn't just pick a random door. They probably knew the point of least resistance, and they probably did that. If you're thinking about this scale operation, do you think that they're planning even the entry points and maybe what would be the quickest and easiest, or they're just showing up there and then like, okay, what do we do?
Yeah, no, they definitely. I see that they have SWAT out there.
Yeah.
Right. So they definitely had a strategy with how they were going to enter the house in the safest way. Obviously, someone like Diddy's probably going to have armed security, right? So they're going to make sure that they try to, handle it at the lowest level and make entry safely. But I saw that they had a SWAT team out there. So the SWAT team probably did the initial breach. And then once it was safe, then you bring in the agents in to start collecting evidence. So they definitely did their homework with each property, probably got, floor plans of each house, where the best entrance is, etc. Something big like this, bro, it's hundreds of agents are involved working it. They're going to make sure they do it correct. Especially when they know that it's going to be media coverage. You best believe they probably knew that the helicopters were going to be out, taking video of them doing this.
And I know you're a busy man. I don't know what your schedule is, but
yeah, I'm gonna dip out in a little bit because we got a show coming up. But I can answer one or two more, no problem.
No, this is my last question.
Sure.
So we all know that the popular thought is, oh, okay, they're investigating. What Cassie said is 10-3. Remember, Diddy's name has been tied to many different things, including the whole thing with Tupac, right? Some people believe that he was behind or maybe even paid the Southside Crips to maybe do this thing. They did charge Keefe D with that particular murder, but people also thought, hey, well, Keefe D, if he's going to try to slither out of this, maybe he will try to give up some information on Diddy. We have no idea if that's the case, but I'm asking you as a general practice, let's say, for example, one of the main reasons, right, or the initial investigation is into sex trafficking, and they're running up into this crib. They've gotten a search warrant for sex trafficking. What's the likelihood that they might be also keeping an eye open for anything that could tie to another crime that they have just known that this particular person is linked to or with?
Yeah, no, fantastic question. So what ends up happening, right, is when the feds get a search warrant, let's say they got this search warrant for guns, illegal guns, right? They go in the house and they find evidence of another crime. It's all gonna come in because they were, there's a phrase that we used to use, right to be, right to see, right? Which means you can use it. So if you have a right to be in the house because you got a search warrant, to get in there, and then you find evidence of another crime, you could definitely charge that person with those other crimes. And that's why, like, on drug warrants, a lot of times people get charged with other crimes. And the reason why is because when you get a drug warrant, well, if you're looking for drugs, you can hide them in the smallest nooks and crannies of the home. When you're in there looking in these small nooks and crannies of the home and you find something else, let's say you find some child porn or whatever it may be, now you could tack on another charge because drug search warrants allow you to really, like, get into the house because of the way that drugs are typically concealed in homes. So they could definitely find other crimes. Maybe they might find a gun with the serial blade scratched off or something else like that. That's all going to come in if they find it.
Wow. Myron, thank you so much. By the way, people, I want you guys to go make sure go fuck with our Fed Reacts. I watch this channel digitally. Can I not speak today? Yo, I watch.
This is my other YouTube channel, and then obviously Fresh Fit is our main one.
Yeah.
You guys can check me out over there. I do breakdowns on criminal cases just like this. So if you guys like getting a perspective from a former agent, I don't think there's anyone on YouTube that used to do investigations like this. You can check me out over there at Fed Reacts, and then also Fresh Fit. Oh, the other thing I was going to tell you with the Tupac thing. I guarantee you they already questioned Diddy a million times about this Tupac situation. Wait,
like put him in a room and question him?
They probably did because of all the allegations that he paid somebody off to do it or whatever.
If you have a lawyer to intercept that, could you be like, hey, listen, either charge me or like basically avoid question and say, hey, either charge me or we're not answering shit.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I'm sure he went in there with his lawyers and everything else like that, and they asked him some questions, and he's like, no, I'm not involved, etc. And the fact that he hasn't been charged for it yet tells you that he's more than likely not involved. So I looked at the Tupac case pretty extensively, man. Tupac died because he got in a fight with some Crips in Las Vegas. I know that's like not as sexy as everybody wants to know, But the reality is, Tupac beat up on the wrong guys. They went looking for him, and they killed him. You know, we know who the 4 individuals were in that vehicle that day. Only one of them is alive. Actually, the other 3 died from like gang violence and stuff like that. And the guy that got the guy that actually was that's still alive recently got charged and arrested by Las Vegas for that. And he was the one that procured the weapon that was used to kill Tupac, and he was in the vehicle, I think, in the front passenger seat. His nephew and another dude were the actual shooters. But yeah, man, people say, "Oh, did he kill Tupac?" Blah blah blah. Nah, man. Pac just got in a fight with the wrong people in Vegas and they found him going to a club with Suge. They shot him up. That's what happened, man.
Yeah. Now, very sad in that situation. I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be so interesting to watch this unfold because I'm going to be honest. I covered a lot of the Diddy lawsuits thinking, hey, at most, you guys might try to, shit. I feel like I'm using the new word for like no homo or pause is no Diddy. But I gotta use it for Diddy. Like no Diddy, like they might milk him dry. No Diddy, like on a monetary level. We're like, hey, we're suing him. We're gonna get him to settle. We're gonna get him to pay this. But you're never gonna get this guy like, not like Suge Knight, not like R. Kelly. This is Diddy. Like at the end of the day, we look at this guy as royalty, one of the greatest and the best at doing what he's done in the music industry, but also concealing anything that he may have done that people think that has been not on the up and up. So, like, me watching this is like, you tell me that the federal government is actually really going through and running through trying to, like, get this guy in jail? It's surreal to me, I'm going to be honest with you.
No, it is crazy, bro. And the fact that they got 3 simultaneous search warrants at the same time in 3 different districts tells me that they have an enormous amount of probable cause. And, bro, they might have enough to arrest him right now. They're just waiting to get more information and, do it all in one nice indictment package. So, like I said before, getting a search warrant for a home isn't easy. You need an enormous amount of probable cause because it's at the top of the echelon as far as, like, the Fourth Amendment, right? The wiretaps and search warrants for homes are by far the hardest searches to get. So, and the fact they got it for 3 different jurisdictions through 3 different United States attorneys' offices tells me that they have a very strong case. And I wouldn't be surprised if criminal cases not filed by the end of this year, from my professional experience.
So they handcuffed both of his boys and probably other people at the property, security, and other people. Let's say you're in the belief, say you're a security, right? Or say you're just a staffer, right? Let's say you're just a staffer. But you're in the belief that the subject of the investigation is Diddy. Are you getting a lawyer as well, given the fact that this has happened? Now, you've been in the crib many times. Who knows what maybe you were even caught doing on surveillance footage? Do you get a lawyer as well? Or do you say, hey, listen, you know what? This ain't got nothing to do with me. I know they're going to just leave me alone, and I'm just going to kind of back up while they go get Diddy.
Anybody that's associated with Diddy or was at these parties and witnessed any type of criminal activity needs to secure a lawyer right now.
Really?
Yeah. Anybody that was at these parties that saw any of this bullshit going on that was alleged, I would hire a lawyer right now, and at least do a consult and because it's gonna come out. Because once they start interviewing people and they get this, because this search warrant is gonna lead them to identifying other people. Other people are gonna get talked to. People are gonna flip. They're gonna put pressure on other individuals. Like, yeah, anyone that was involved in this stuff needs to secure a lawyer right now.
Do you think Meek Mill should get a lawyer?
I don't know what Meek is privy to, but I mean, he got the money. I would definitely, obviously only Meek and
allegedly they went on a few shopping trips. They have matching outfits. Diddy calls him dad. I'm being honest. Diddy calls him daddy. Like, yeah, I don't know. And I mean, like,
if he was at these parties, yeah, I would secure a lawyer. He got the money to do it too, so I would secure a lawyer, just so that you know how to move if they do come and ask you questions. Because I guarantee you, they're gonna come and talk to Meek too. They're 100% gonna go talk to him. So they're gonna talk to all Diddy's close associates, especially people that were at these parties. So fuck. But nah, bro, I'm gonna take off, man. But yo, thanks for having me on, man.
100%, bro.
I hope I was able to give the audience a little bit of value, give them insight
You
as to
always
how
do.
like federal investigations really work, man. I really used to do this shit, so it's always fun talking about this stuff.
No, you always do. Please, everybody, go check out my man Myron Gaines over at Fresh and Fit. Pretty much the best self-improvement men's podcast in the game. Of course, he does his thing as well on Fed Reacts. Some of the most insightful, in detail, full-on breakdowns of very popular cases that they don't have to be necessarily trendy or newsworthy, but he does a really good job doing that. So please go check him out.
I appreciate that, bro. And anytime you need me, just as usual, he gave me a quick text, said, "Hey, can you jump on real quick?" I'll I'm always happy to give professional insight on this stuff and give the audience a little bit more info. So
Hopefully next time they hear us together, hopefully I'm on Fresh and Fit. All right, I'm coming.
All right, brother.
I'm coming there soon.
All right, man. We need you in Miami. Be safe, bro.
I know. All right, appreciate you, brother.
Peace, guys.
Oh wow, people. Damn, man. I don't even know if there's audio with this. It's just like we're watching the video, but geez. So, people, this is a overhead view, and I believe this is the Miami property. No, this is not Miami. This is the LA property. If I'm not mistaken, this is the LA property of Wow, this house is fucking huge. Is this like a guest house back here? Y'all see this? This is a guest house? You got the main house here, guest house there, big ass pool. Wow. Is this lawn or is this like turf? This is great. Oh my God. This helicopter is just circling. You know how you can tell a house is big, chat? You count the amount of AC units on the roof. Oh my sweet Jesus. It tells you the amount of zones that are going to be in a house like this. In my house, there's, what is it like? How many do we have? 5 or 6? Fuck all that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, this shit's a mesh. And this is just for one particular place. This probably has the other ones. This other place right here, which looks like a guest house, or a guest mansion, might have them on the side. Jesus Christ. Got the pool right here. I got Whack 100 calling me, man. Whack!
Yo, act, shh.
Whack, I'm on stream.
Act, be quiet. Listen, bro.
I'm on stream.
That's cool, but listen, bro, listen.
What?
Motherfucker, my man just told me that this finalized. You remember the We Tip commercial by Tip?
Yeah.
Yo, you remember Tip got the key vases going on with the situation with the military lady say he put the whole foot in the situation, right? Bro, word is the We Tip commercial got some involvement in the Diddy, no Diddy.
Stop.
Now,
Stop.
Mills is panicking right now because his text messages saying, yo, did you burn or get rid of those photos and videos? I don't know what photos and videos, maybe it's behind the scenes. Big Mill's got a bunch of videos, you know what I'm saying? These niggas sending out cease and desist, but I know how to cease and desist. It's cease and desist. But this shit is getting weird out here.
You tell me that they might go holler at Meek Mill because Meek Mill, like, we seen the matching outfits. I heard there's a whole different set to it. I heard there's a whole wardrobe.
Listen, bro. You see what I put up March 15th? Everybody thought I was capping. Whack 100's March 15th post says, Diddy, I smell the feds coming.
You ain't say that.
If New York charge, go look at it. March 15th.
You ain't say that. Like, stop lying.
March 5th, go see Act. I'm smarter than you, Act. March 15th. Go look at it. Whack 100 Instagram. I can't.
Hold on. I'm on your Instagram right now. I'm going to go to March.
Go look at it, March 15th. Picture of Diddy and the other nigga, Aaron Hall, whatever the nigga name is. And read the caption, Act.
Hold on. I'm on March 15th. It says, I smell the feds coming. New York State would be a gift to these two. This is how they got R. Kelly. Federal law off the land is 18 regardless of state law. Pay attention. It only gets worse from here. Our moguls are fallen by the grace of their own decisions. You ain't know that, Whack. No way.
Bro, Act is right there.
What the?
One thing you know, I think outside the box. I seen it coming. The minute they amended that shit. Now you got to remember, Cassie waited till she got her bag. Once she got her bag, bro, it's only one motherfucker that know the history of all them houses. That lady from 1991 don't know about those houses. They didn't exist. The hit of all them houses is because there's shit in there that only one person could talk about. Cassie.
You don't think Cass? No, Cass. No way. She
That's
got
a fact.
no way.
She got her bag. Now she pissing him off. If the feds come question her, she has to talk, bro. I mean, she don't have to talk, but she can. So whatever they made her sign for the, civil shit, that shit don't supersede the feds. And these niggas that do this sexual shit, and I'm gonna be real for the record, if a nigga freaky, he freaky. Everybody's freakier than the next motherfucker, and the other motherfuckers less freakier than you, right?
Wait, hold on. That's what I was gonna ask you. So, listen, this is the music game. A lot of these niggas, they get numb to regular sex, so they all get a little freaky. Do you think Diddy was into some illegal non-freaky shit or some illegal freaky shit?
Two things we gotta worry about.
What?
Three things. Underage, which includes minors, which I hope he didn't do. Illegal immigrants, because they got this whole ring. You watch the movie where these real wealthy, super rich people, they bring in illegal immigrants, the party, right? And three, I hope the role play was not that realistic, that on tape is looking like you forcing somebody to do something.
Oh.
Those are three things you got to worry about.
Hey, I talked to somebody who said it looks like there might be taking an approach that might be similar to R. Kelly. And I said, no, Diddy and R. Kelly, they're not the same. We're like,
I said it. What the fuck did I just say on the Post Act? You never want to give me my credit. Listen, let me educate y'all, because I've been talking to R. Kelly every week for the last year. You know this. R. Kelly educated me on this. Just like the state of California that has legal weed, legal places you can buy weed statewide. The feds, if they want to could go take all those owners to jail, because under federal law, weed is illegal, is not legal yet. Okay, state of New Jersey, 16, state of New York, 17, Illinois, 17, right? Legal age is consent. State, federal law, the law of the land is 18. So whenever they want to, they can step in and say, you had sex with a 17-year-old? Yeah, okay, you violated federal law. That's how they got R. Kelly in the feds. Read what my post said, bro.
Wait,
legal age of consent, federal of the law of the United States of America is 18 years old. We don't give a fuck what the state says, bro. I'm telling you right now.
Wait, put me on game. Wait, why is R. Kelly locked up? Like, like.
This is why R. Kelly's locked up. Illinois was 17, right? Boom. They couldn't hit him with that. Remember, the state of Illinois dropped it because the girl was 17, right?
Okay.
Now, R. Kelly was under the impression the girl was 18 years old. He didn't know she was 17, right?
Okay.
He didn't find out until later on, and that's when he cut her loose. But when she was 17, he's crossing state lines and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Now, that's where the motherfucking trafficking shit comes into it. So let's say you taking a Sprinter, fuck it, we going into, Ohio or some shit, or wherever the fuck, we taking a Sprinter. You take your chick, she's 17, you cross that state line, bro, and you got the trafficking. But federally, they charged them in the feds because the age of consent is 18 years old, any state up on the United States of America.
Yo, but Whack, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Diddy too.
Your state is 16, Ack.
Yo, but Diddy too powerful to get caught up in that. Like, hold on. Be honest.
The United States of America. The government, the
No,
feds.
you're right. Hold on, you're right.
Ain't no nigga that powerful, bro.
But when they got Kelly, Kelly didn't have the power that Diddy got. Diddy is
What power does he? All he has is money. Bill got money, nigga. Bill still went. What he better do is what R. Kelly did and hire Bill Cosby's attorney. That's why R coming back on an appeal. He got Bill Cosby attorney, right? Same situation right now, bro. Is that this shit's like 34, 35 years old, right? Now, I do know this. They are not raiding those places looking for any type of proof that has anything to do with this case in 1990, 1991. They are raiding those places based off some shit that Cassie, a woman that was with that dude 15, 16 years, then told him these niggas be having these safes and secret walls, and these niggas like to keep shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you think?
I got videos banging my chick out from the back. Act, I got them. I turned them on, bro.
So you think
we all got videos? Act, you got videos with your chick? Act.
So you think Diddy got the freak off? No,
Act, why you just trying to duck that? Act?
What?
Are you gonna cop to it?
No. Of course, I always got. Of course, listen.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. Now what you
Hold
saying?
on. But Diddy wouldn't record no damn freak off. Come on now. Come on.
Crazy, bro.
No, he wouldn't.
Cassie said,
stop it.
Watch this, bro. Let me tell y'all, Cassie got the money. Act. Follow me.
Talk
you
to
a
me.
very intelligent man. Follow me. This is how Cassie got the money. Cassie came out and said, yes, I would order the male prostitutes, the strippers. They would come, we would have sex, and Diddy would be naked filming us. You recall that?
Did he say filming or just watching?
Filming. Did you recall that? Now look, right there is where the extortion started. I'm going to tell you why, Act. She stopped it there. You know what Diddy knew she could continue to say? And then after I was done with the male prostitute, Diddy would go over there with them.
No. Whack.
This is a fact, bro. Bro, she said, okay, Act, watch this. Let's say I did a bank robbery, right? And me, you, and the homie that be your editor was involved, right?
Yeah.
And I come up and I say, yeah, it's some robberies went on, and let's say I'm in jail, right? It's some robberies went on that I can speak on. You know, we drove a blue car, you know, motherfuckers was driving. They know who they are. They need to holler at me. Act, you know you was the driver. And I'll stop right there. You going to contact somebody and say, what that nigga wrong with?
No, you're right. Oh, no.
Diddy was running over there.
Yo, Whack. Hear what I'm saying, though. Diddy been in hot water for the last... he been in hot water for the last 6 months. If you don't think he deleted everything, he done spent...
He didn't. I'm going to tell you why.
No way.
For the very reason why you just said what you said. Diddy is powerful. He let the money go to his head, bro. He don't listen to nobody around him, bro. He think he bigger than the program. He think he's slick. Cassie been gone 5 years, bro. Whatever she knew about, whatever safes, whatever, all that shit should have been over with. Not to say she ain't gave him some shit. Don't think she left up out of there, nigga, without some shit. Them feds are not finna kick in the door on 3 motherfucking matches at the same time if they don't have some shit.
I'm gonna be honest, I was shocked today. I thought it was a lie.
The sad part, no, I told you they was coming. Bro, the minute they admitted it and she said she was 16 years old and they gave me liquor in the state of New York and ran a train on me, I knew they was coming. Now, the sad part about it is, fathers, never be a homeboy to your children. Mothers, never be a homeboy to your daughters. Okay? Listen, you seen them boys in cuffs? Listen, remember the other accusation. They laced the liquor. The producer said Diddy's sons assist him in lacing liquor and giving it to everybody. They know that piece, or at best or worse, forced Diddy into standing on it. But what they don't know, and 50 know this, Diddy don't give a fuck. They gonna have to stand by themselves.
Wait. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Only two people we may fall for, and that's them little girls. Them boys, oh, he gonna make them ride it out. Bro, this nigga, Lil Rob, whatever this nigga name is, said, and it's other people that have said, Diddy and his kids are in cahoots with lacing the liquor. It's in the, go look at the complaint.
Man.
Now we know it's been transgender activity. This we do know. Shout out to the Tronics Network. Y'all tune in and subscribe. We launched today. It's been some transgender activity. We know this. I'll send you the content, right?
Whack, I'm gonna be honest with you.
That?
Whack, I'm gonna be honest with you.
That? I just picked that up.
Hey, Whack.
Fuck, man.
Hey.
Fucking with the 100 side. What's up?
Yo, Whack, I know you always trying to bet some money, and I might be down to bet some money. I don't think there is
You telling me?
No way, no how Diddy gonna end up in a goddamn. He ain't ended up in cuffs.
Okay, watch this.
No way, no how.
On the plane. Look, he's on a jet already, headed to where he headed. They know where he's going, right?
I heard they met him there too.
He don't bail out. Listen, he might not bail out because it's feds. Why the fuck is Keith D's son calling me right now? Is this what the fuck? He gotta wait. Listen.
Diddy is not going to jail.
Or Diddy going to jail?
Diddy is bigger than the program. I'm telling you.
Diddy is not bigger than the federal government.
No, he's bigger. He's bigger than. No. I'm not saying the government. He's bigger than the program.
If he was bigger than the program, why did little old Cassie take him down?
Shit.
And I got a bone to pick with you, Act. Stop fucking for Young Miami. You trolling her, bro. It ain't no truth to that shit you talking about. You trolling her.
Wait, we got to get her side. We got to get her side, though.
Side.
Wait.
Hold on. Ain't no side. Look, her and Diddy was business partners. They was associates.
No.
Nothing exclusive.
She said he peed in her mouth. Nah, you can't do that.
Listen, bro.
You can't do that.
Bro,
she said he peed in her mouth.
They weren't business partners?
Yeah, they were business partners, and he peed in her mouth.
You telling me they wasn't a... Look, Diddy had a baby.
Hold on. Yo, hold on. Whack. Hold on, Whack.
You trying to make him exclusive.
Whack. This is how I catch you right here. Because this is how shit go wrong. When your business because put like this, Diddy and Cassie were business partners, but then...
No, they were a couple.
Did you read the lawsuit? Wait, no. Whack. I'm being you now. Did you read the lawsuit? She said she called him a business partner that would use his influence to get engaged with her sexually and to coerce her.
We all watched Diddy take that female from that other artist. She lived with that dude 14, 15 years, right? They were a couple. We all know this. That's cap. If it wasn't a couple, it wouldn't have said Cassie cheats on Diddy with Trainer if it wasn't a couple.
Okay, so Whack, you trying to tell me that you trying to tell me you trying to tell me Young Miami didn't say that Diddy be peeing in her mouth?
This is what I'm saying.
No. Right? Are you trying to say that? I'm talking to Whack 100. We have the content.
I'm saying that Young Miami was not exclusive and privy to that shit.
Hold on. Whack. I didn't say she was. Whack. I didn't say she was. Whack. I didn't say she was. But if you think about the allegations in the civil lawsuit and why the feds coming in, you think the feds ain't gonna question somebody who was saying that, hey, he was peeing in my mouth?
Nothing to question Young Miami about.
Yes.
She never made any accusations.
What? You
Even
don't.
with what you're saying,
they gotta question her in case it wasn't consensual because she's only came out and said what he did. She never said I requested it.
Bro, check this out, motherfucker. Are you asking permission to freak your woman when you freaking your woman? Okay, babe. Up next, I want to.
Whack! You just said she wasn't his woman.
Okay, babe. Can I do this next?
Whack! You just told me she wasn't his woman and that he had a baby on her. So who knows if she was in cahoots?
Well, hold on. This is what I do know. right? She got some respect for herself. She grown.
I don't know.
She does what she wants to do. Hold on. She does what she wants to do. And let me top it off with this.
That's what Diddy thought about Cassie.
Hey, yo. Hey, Young Miami ain't no bum bitch, bro. She got a support system around her, bro.
It's the same with Cassie. No, it's the same with Cassie.
No.
She
was out there in the water by herself. She had to be there. Young Miami has a support. She's successful. QC is there. Her family is still there. Her baby daddy is still there. Two total different situations.
No, Wack. You're not reading the situation right.
You trolling because, come on.
No. JT is about music. Young Miami is about escorting. Let's be honest. JT is promoting a tour.
On, bro. That's a false accusation. Young Miami has never been arrested or never been accused of doing no escort shit. If she wishes and choose to go out and accompany somebody that's of legal age, bro, that's her fucking right.
Yo, Wack, you gonna be the best attorney. Yo, Wack, so let me ask you a question. She said, me and Diddy, we go together real bad. The next week we saw Diddy have a baby with another woman. What would you call that?
I'm calling that's an associate.
You call it a side chick. She was a side chick.
She's not exclusive, bro.
So she was a side chick.
She has a right to date and not be fucking exclusive to anybody. If men could do it, you know what's crazy? When men do it, you like, oh, I'm just, I'm doing me. So when a woman wants to do it, all of a sudden, it's a double standard. Get the fuck out of here,
Wack,
bro.
you know she was in the freak off.
That he's dating, then a woman could also date somebody and not be tied down, bro.
Wack.
Have her fun, bro.
Wack, you know she was in the freak off, man. Come on. Yo, Wack.
Don't nobody know. This is what we do know. She is a city girl.
Wack. Let me ask you a question.
Hold on, bro.
Those police you see surrounding the property, they didn't only surround it in L.A. and New York. They surrounded it on Star Island. There's bad video.
Okay, that ain't the first or the last, right? Bro, how do you know that Young Miami just wasn't stroking his ego?
Wack, come on, Wack.
How you know, bro? She's a beautiful woman, bro. She's talented. She has a name.
Wack, this is where I'm going to get mad at you for, though. I'm going to tell you I'm going to get mad at you. You know I love you. I'm going to tell you why.
As long as you don't headbutt me,
No. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to get mad at you. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to get mad at you. So you telling me you okay with Young Miami turning her back on Diddy at the moment she need him? You know what Diddy need right now? He need a personal testimony from somebody who been with him to say, hey, I've been with that nigga. One thing for sure, two things for certain. He don't do nothing against somebody's will. I could testify to it. Anything me and him ever did was consensual. Everything I ever see him do was on the up and up.
Anything y'all ever did? What you did with Diddy?
Nigga, see, you trying to switch it up.
I just heard that shit.
No, I'm talking about.
Now,
no,
let's get to Young Miami. I'm not going to spin.
Why she not doing it? Why she not doing it?
Hold on, let me answer it, bro.
Go ahead.
You said she's turning her back on Diddy, right?
She did. He bought her a house and a Maybach.
Let me tell you what I do know, and these are brownie points and a salute to Diddy. Let me tell you what I do know. I do know that Diddy had enough respect for that young lady and her career to tell her this is not for you, and I want you to go your way. Right? You see, she went to BET. You didn't see Diddy stop trying to stop that. Diddy, with his own free will, right, looked out for that sister and said, look, I got shit going on that has nothing to do with you. It's best that you disassociate. So she didn't turn her back. Diddy just looked out for that young sister, bro, and did what was right.
Yo, Wack, I ain't gonna lie. This is why I always tell people, if y'all in trouble, if your friend is not Wack 100, you in deep shit.
What do you mean, friend, bro?
Wack, you know damn well. Stop it. You know damn well Young Miami basically was talking all that shit, talking about she with him. Yo, she was dissing other women. Hold on. She was dissing other women. Hold on. Yo, Wack. You wanna bet $2,000 just for fun? I guarantee one of them people that the feds done talk to is that girl Gina. There's a girl, Gina, that was used to on and off. She was beefing with Young Miami at that point. Young Miami tweeted at her and said, bitch, you know I could have Diddy have you on all fours eating my pussy. That's what
There's nothing wrong with that. Is it illegal?
No, well, it would be illegal if Diddy is forcing her. If Diddy is forcing that woman to do it.
You know what it is, Act?
What?
You ain't lived the good life, Act.
Oh, man.
If a female was willing to participate, right, in fellatio with another woman, and they're both of legal age and consent.
She said, I'm going to make Diddy make you. Hold on. Stop it. Whack, you spinning. She said, I'm going to make Diddy make you do that, not give you a choice. I'm going to tell Diddy to make you do it. No, Whack. Whack.
Bro, have you ever been to the Green Door in Las Vegas? They ask you, do you want to be arrested? Do you want a robber to break it? It's role play.
Wait, what door? The Green Door?
She's not going to be involved with nothing illegal that has nothing to do with sexual acts because she doesn't have to. Anything she desires, she can get that the right way.
Whack, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm so surprised by you. I can't believe you're co-signing Young Miami turning her back on Diddy. Diddy's about it.
What's up? What you talking about, bro?
Diddy is going through the hardest time of his life, and a girl he bought.
And I salute Diddy. I salute Diddy for saying this young lady, this young, beautiful, talented lady should not have to deal with this shit. And to tell her, I love you, it's been nice.
That's fake.
But as a man, I have to tell you to disassociate yourself from me because I got things going on in my life that have nothing to do with you.
Whack.
If
Whack.
Young Miami respected him, you can't put that on
Whack.
her,
That's
bro.
fake because she was
How
the
do you
one.
think her show got over to BET?
Yo, she was the.
Diddy fighting it?
Hold on. She was the one running around this bitch talking about act bad, act bad, act bad, act bad. As soon as some bad shit happened, she left. She left. Yo, you know what they showed on the news? No. Yo, Whack, we was live streaming it. You know what they showed on the news? They put Justin Combs and King Combs in cuffs. Salute to his sons.
Okay, listen. But they also said, Lil Rob said that allegedly the kids helped Diddy do shit, bro.
But allegedly he also said that Young Miami's cousin took his dick out and sucked it. So basically he implicated Young Miami too. I know you love Young Miami, but put it like this. They need to go search her crib too. She might have like a pink dildo and a Diddy butt plug in there. We don't know. My phone died. Oh man! All right, I'm. Hey, Whack! I didn't hang up on you. My phone died. I'm recharging. Yo, what the fuck happened, chat? We came on here to discuss Drake, Kendrick. How did we get to this? Yo, I can't believe what I'm watching. This shit is crazy. Nah, this is crazy. We gonna get Whack 100 back on the line. We do love Whack 100. This is crazy. Jesus. Homeland Security? Is there any audio? Still no audio here yet. It's okay. We're gonna get the audio. Jesus. Give me a second. We're gonna go figure this shit out. Diddy rated. Here we go. We're trying to find. Here we go.
And the like, Randy, and that's what we were talking about. That the problem was he just couldn't find something like that, right? And do you think he will be able to find that now with a reduced judgment?
100%. I'm sure he has it already. He either has it himself in cash, or he's reached out to wealthy benefactors, or don't forget, he's got a new thing. He's got the Truth Social gig, and that going public, so he could very easily very easily say to someone, listen, front me this money, give me something. I'll catch you as soon as I get my
Okay, they told my Trump. We have to figure out what the hell is going on. Here we go. Wow. Wow. Look, remember I said 100,000 this probably cost? Bro, it costs a lot more. There's birds in the sky. There's all type of shit going on. This is an expensive operation, overtime for these cops. You're taking people off the force. They probably had to fucking like, hey, we need extra people to deal with this thing. It might last 64 hours. Wow. So this is Star Island. Oh my God, this is crazy, bro. It's back to Diddy's crib. Like there's a live stream going. Look like it's kind of paused for the moment. Wow.
A story we're following on live now from Fox. Of course, breaking news of this.
Give me a second. Let me take a piss real quick.
Law enforcement officials and other officials just outside of a gate. This on a street near the Beverly Hills area. Of course, we're following it very closely on live now from Fox. And of course, we were watching this. We didn't know exactly what we were seeing at the time. So this is just a little bit ago as you can see a crowbar to get through this gate initially as well. The long guns and a multitude of people. As you'll see, they'll zoom out a little bit just to see the amount of force they are using to get inside this home. And of course, the complex in which this home sits is a very expansive one for the American rapper and producer. You can see them checking inside of a vehicle. We don't know exactly what is involved, if Diddy's even there. We don't know a ton of information about this at all, but this was dramatic video coming in of the Los Angeles home there, raided by Homeland Security. Some of those images there on the backs of them. We also saw other images. I want to kind of quickly move to what else we saw as people were led away, potentially in custody. Don't know who these individuals are, if they're related to Diddy in any way, but you can see them, a dramatic video from our Sky Fox team there in Los Angeles as we continue to cover this. And our Fox 11 team is there on the ground right now as we speak. Let's take you out to some of their coverage here as we follow this developing story out of Los Angeles.
And then detain those 3 people inside. We haven't seen any signs of P. Diddy himself. Again, we're hearing that he is possibly in New York, but several people inside the home that will surely be questioned. Very chaotic scene when all of this happened. Lots of neighbors wondering what's going on, of course, and we'll keep you updated. But it's definitely going to be quite a scene here for the remainder of the day.
When you see this number of law enforcement agencies coming together, making this type of raid to such a big, high-profile mansion like this, in a neighborhood like this as well, this is very thought out, methodical, planned out for days. So they base this on a number of information gathering that they've received and evidence or what they're looking for. So clearly, this is not something they do lightly. They really go through the process of making sure that everything is ready before they conduct a raid like this. So yes, this took a lot of planning for all these multiple agencies to come together to actually now conduct a type of raid like this, as you're seeing right now with this street also shut down for the time being, because Haley, you could see the perimeter has been set up in that neighborhood to keep just the public back from the work that's being done. And there you have the shot from Sky Fox. Again, these heavily armed vehicles right next to all those luxury cars. You already see a Porsche, a G-Wagon.
Oh my gosh, bro. What happened to Diddy? I ain't gonna lie, I seen the wildest stuff online. They said that Diddy was trying to get rid of all the butt plugs, all the, you feel me, all the dildos, everything, you feel me? They said he had a dildo lover, no Diddy. Like, it was getting crazy. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, I feel like Diddy's career is over. Like, it's no coming back from this. It's too publicized, bro. Like, as X said, the way Diddy makes his money is off is off himself, is off his face, because he's a promoter. He can't, like, you can't have Diddy's name tied to anything anymore. Like, and it's gonna be tough. But luckily, Diddy has himself in a place where he owns a bunch of like artists, masters, and all that stuff. So Diddy's always gonna be making a bag no matter what. And another thing is like, man, Diddy's really going, I don't know. He's not gonna be making the same kind of money anymore. Like, I'm pretty sure that liquor money is really what turned him to a billionaire. Like, it probably hit different. He's probably making hundreds of millions of dollars a year from it. Now they paid to take him out. Who knows how much money they paid him to like get him out of it. But man, I feel bad for Diddy because like he helped build up De Leon. I mean, it's hard for me to say I feel bad for him because like all the stuff they're claiming that he did, it's a high chance that he probably did it. I ain't gonna lie. But all the people coming out saying all the stuff during the moment that it happened, they were probably hella with it. Like, let's keep it a being. They was all probably like hella with it during when it happened. But like 30 years later, they're like broke, older. They seen Cassie just got 30-40 million dollars within 48 hours. Everyone's gonna have a story. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, imagine you being like one of the people where like you have a story that's like quite like Cassie's, and you just seen her get paid $40 million. Like, $1 million is life-changing money. 40, like, man, I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna, like, Diddy is a freak. Like, we can't lie. He's a freak. He's a billionaire freak. So, hey, bro, I don't know. Is it free Diddy? Keep Diddy? I don't know. Like, I don't want to wish jail on him, but, man, like, I don't know, bro. Like, Diddy and Jay-Z, like, when I was younger, everyone always used to like talk about Diddy, Jay-Z, like, you feel me, like, of the rich, successful black men, like the top of the top of black men in like music. Is like when you think of them, you think of Jay-Z and Diddy. That's literally who you think of, like the owners and whatever it is, like the bosses. I really feel bad for Diddy though. Like, man, but justice needs to be served, bro. That's all I could say. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and I hope 100% justice is served. You feel me? If he's guilty, lock him up. If he's somehow innocent, which, man, like, let's keep it a being, bro. Diddy, you feel me? Even though majority of the stuff that Diddy did, I don't feel like it's illegal. It's just him being a freak. But I feel like there's stuff that he did that was illegal as well. So, you feel me? We just gotta wait for more information to come out, even if it does come out. Like, they raided 3 of his houses at the same time. They raided his house on Star Island. Supposedly, did they raid his house in New York? But I know they raided his house in LA or California. But man, I don't know, bro. This whole situation is crazy. It's your boy Big Act News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let me know how you guys feel about this whole situation in the comments below. And I'm out.